Hey everyone, welcome back to the Challenge Fandom Podcast. You got myself, Rick Hayes, my beautiful wife, Karina Hayes, and a very special guest. Usually here for the mid-season recap, but here he's for like the mid-off-season debate.
Yeah.
Perfect. I like it.
Yeah, love it.
That works.
Yeah.
We've got none other than Alex Brizard. You know him from The Circle, Two Dudes Watch Cartoons podcast. Thank you, sir, for coming back. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and my credentials, like The Circle and a cartoon podcast, who better to talk about such a physically active show, The Challenge, and really give his opinion and really, weigh in on all these things. No, I'm kidding. Happy to be here. Excited to be here. This is going to be a fun one. Always happy to be back.
I'm going to be honest, your resume is still longer than mine for this. Mine's like, he watches it at his house while eating potato chips. Has no experience on camera at all, but judges these people readily.
That's so funny. I'm usually eating like ice cream too. I didn't even realize the irony of it.
It really works. Like, this motherfucker can't swim for shit.
Yeah, I'm like, run! What are you doing, you lazy piece of shit? As I'm sitting on my couch.
Yeah, don't even
12
get
hours
off fully.
later, I'm like dripping sweat and out of breath from mopping my house.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
That's facts.
Real
That
life.
is facts. And any friggin', okay, I don't want to say any, but majority of Challenge fans who would deny that, you're lying. You're lying. Okay?
I'm going to say like 45% of Americans agree with that statement. So anyways, that's going on the wrong foot. What we're here to do tonight is we're here to build the ultimate challenger, which we've broken down into 3 subcategories of brain games, strategy, well, not really strategy, gameplay, and physical.
Mhm.
And each of those have 3 underlying things that we're going to draft people on. Well, we're going to give you our team, and then we're going to draft the ultimate challenge competitor. One
give
male,
a bunch of
one
opinions, some fan opinions that you guys submitted. I'm excited because there's a lot to talk about here because we're not on our individual list. We're not repeating anyone. And that was actually my biggest struggle because I was like, oh, I'm going to put CT here, and here. Like, you know what I mean? Nope, couldn't do it.
Yes, exactly.
It's the same for like almost any of the top guys. I was like, well, Jordan can go in this one or this one or this one. I was like, what's going to make the most sense? I was like, can we break this down Dungeons and Dragons style where I get points attributes for every category?
That's my criteria. That's why I'm here. I am a very big Dungeons and Dragons guy, dungeon master. So yeah, we're going to craft the perfect character for the challenge.
Sidebar, I have never played Dungeons and Dragons, and I want to try it because I think I would really enjoy it based on some of the games that I play.
Let's talk offline. We can figure something out. I play online with a ton of people. We could literally do it like this. Like, it's very easy. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
Okay,
I'd be
we'll
so
connect.
down for that.
We'll connect. Yeah, that we could do something really fun.
Fuck the podcast.
Yeah, you know what, guys? We're actually canceling our plans. We need to do something else for the evening.
We're playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Something
tonight.
urgently came up. All right. So here's the basic rules of how we're going to pick our teams and as well what we're basing our teams on. So some of the main rules are we're building one male, one female ultimate challenger. You can draft any single person for any single ability, but once that person's picked on your team, they're off the board. And we're going to do the same thing when we build the ultimate challenger.
Right.
So if I take Jordan for agility and speed, I can't take him for endurance too.
Yeah, you can't just take like the same person. And I saw like, and obviously we didn't put the rules up on Instagram. But a lot of people were doing that, just like every single answer box. Jordan.
So
it's like, Jordan is your ultimate challenger.
That's right.
Baseline, they have had to do 3 seasons, and that at least minimum 3 seasons, and that could have been USA 2, 39 and 40, or All Stars 4. 40, 41, whatever it may be.
Anything,
you know what I mean?
Anything that we consider like an actual real challenge season counted towards that 3. So in that case, the only things that wouldn't have counted would have been like Champs and Stars and Champs vs. Pro thing, because that
doesn't count? I can't have Terrell Owens on my list?
Oh my God, he would be an animal for agility and speed.
I gotta change my list. And I'm fine messing. Yeah.
I gotta redo the whole thing, damn it.
Look, full disclosure, I said this off air. I fucked up because the guy I picked had 2 seasons.
I know.
And
We can
he
still
is
talk
a
about
sleeper
them.
pick.
We'll still talk about him.
You're gonna still talk about that person though. So
Oh yeah, I'm gonna give them credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
And I think this is a good part to kind of lead into what we're drafting for, and what we're basing our selections on. So what we're going to get into first is physical, and that's broken down into 3 main categories: strength, endurance, and then speed and agility. Mm-hmm. Then we're going to go into gameplay. What's their strategy? How do they move through the house? How do they play votes in the right way? Then we're going to go into social, like relationships, manipulation, previous alliances, rivals, things like that. And then finally, adaptability. How do they handle changes in the game? Alliance switches, all of a sudden one side of the house getting more power, all of a sudden the format changing. How do they handle that?
Yeah.
And then we're going to go into the final part, which is brain games. That's going to be memory, puzzle, and math, kind of really becoming a core portion of the challenge of the last 10 seasons.
Right.
You know what was so interesting?
Go
I'm so sorry. When I saw these 3 categories, I was like, this is really good. And I think, like you said, over the last however many years, they've really added those brain games to like eliminations now, where it has become much more where you could probably get away without doing math in the old challenges and still win. You just might not win that daily or whatever. But like nowadays, you're gonna run into a puzzle, a memory thing, a quick math thing, something beforehand.
To be
100%.
honest, it was difficult for us to narrow this down because then, you have the eating aspect,
Oh.
but then we were like, that typically happens more in like finals, maybe once per season, every now and then. So,
And I feel like you could count that in like their endurance, honestly, a little.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Or even like adaptability, you know what I mean? So just how you adapt to that.
And I'm glad you brought this up because we had a really long debate on this. And I was like, we're missing something. There's something missing from this list. And I was like, is it heart? Like how much heart? And she's like, well, how do you describe that? Like, how do you quantify that?
Yeah, how do you measure
And I was like, and it was that example, like being able to push through and eat stuff, all of that. And like, that's not really quantifiable, like you said. So we did come up with a wild card though. And I do think it rounds out the list nicely.
Yeah.
What it means to be a challenger. And that's entertainment. That's their wild card vote.
Yeah.
So who's brought the most entertainment? Confessionals, drama, conflict, showmanship, character arcs,
iconic moments,
feats that people still talk about.
Mhm.
So I think this is a really good list for us to jump into to build that ultimate challenger.
Yeah, I think I think it pretty much covers every single aspect of the challenge. And if you disagree out there, please let us know down below what we missed. What aspect of the challenge do you think that we might have missed in this format for our ultimate challenger?
I don't know if I want to know that because all of a sudden I'm going to hear it. I'm going to be like, son of a bitch, that's a core theme. How did I miss that?
How did we miss it?
We got to do the whole episode again.
Alex, you available next week?
Part 2.
All right. So let's lead off into this. And just because I want to get this off my chest before I forget, we're going to go into physical. And let's go ahead and start off with agility, speed, and agility.
Okay.
Who's your main guy for this?
I could start
Alex.
if you guys would like.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, really quick. Are we allowed to say this if we happen to have the same people?
Yeah, we're building our own
until
team.
we build it down to the
Yeah.
okay.
We'll
Perfect.
boil it down at the
I
end.
just wanted to make sure.
Based
And
on this is brainstorming.
Yeah, and it's
Perfect.
probably going to lead into like if you guys both have the same person in endurance,
Right.
like that's a really heavy vote for the main.
Yeah.
Okay, I just
know what I
wanted to
mean.
make sure that I was on the same page.
Wavelength.
If there was a page, we're all on it right now.
Perfect. I like
it. This one was tough for me. There are a lot of people that are like fast, but I think adding the agility was really interesting to me because it's like how do I phrase this? You can be fast, but there's also something about going 0 to 20 quicker than others. You know what I'm saying? That like sort of and like light on your feet. And this one was hard for me to admit, so I don't like that we're starting here. But I'm giving my agility and speed to Fessel. He's got the moves of like a football player. And for his size, it's extremely advantageous for him.
I like that. Yeah, he does. That's a hard one to go against, to outdo.
He's going to win in a long race, and he's going to win in a short race. And I think that was what really I boiled it down to.
I don't have a solid argument against that. I'm going to be honest. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't really even have an argument. Like, I don't think you can argue against that. I didn't personally consider Fessel. He didn't come to my mind in this moment, or for this category.
We never want to give the Big Brother players too much credit, but I had to do it in this moment.
Look, and Fessel's going to get his love. He came to mind in quite a few other categories for me, but it just wasn't. I had an immediate somebody in my head for this one, and it just wasn't Fessel. But that's actually a really good option. So
strong start.
I'm interested in yours.
So for mine, I think that I probably went a little bit more basic B with mine, but my agility pick would be Corey Wharton. He is fast. He's light on his feet. That he can stop on a dime and change direction if he needs. We saw it in that elimination against Josh on 40.
So true.
The incredible speed. We've seen it in many eliminations and finals and, everything. So Corey Wharton was the first one that came to mind. And I just think that agility is the perfect place for him. So I'm going with Corey Wharton.
I mean, I think he's a top 5 pick. He was one of the 5 guys I thought of right away when we came up with this.
There was another one. Yeah.
There was another one. And I do think it's interesting that both you guys have picked somebody that have history in football.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because my pick, until I found out he only did 2 seasons instead of 3, was Danny McCray.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's a great
Because how are you
pick.
going to argue the NFL starting safety for the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Can't argue
How
that.
can you? No.
So flowers for Danny. We just can't officially give him in the running for that spot because of our own rules.
Boo,
Our own rules.
Flowers.
Flowers.
So many flowers.
With that being said, I'm going to go in a little bit different of an athletic direction. And I think while his agility might not be at the same level as a Fessel or even a Corey, I think his speed is so far beyond theirs that it outweighs it. And I'm going to go with Theo Campbell.
Ooh. That's not the direction I thought you were going, but I like that.
That is one of Theo's strengths. That is a really good pick, and I'll be honest, did not come to mind, but I really like that pick. Theo's a good one. He's fast.
Sleeper pick right there.
Yeah, that's definitely, like I said, not the direction I thought you were going in, but I like it.
And so what you've done is you've really boiled this down here, because for me, when I'm thinking speed and agility, I'm still taking like Fessel and Corey's size into consideration. But you were like, no, I'm going strictly speed, and I'm taking Theo's speed and putting it on this new player. So I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Now, I do think it would be really interesting to see Theo in the same type of elimination that Corey and Josh did in 40, where they had to run and jump over the hay barrel and try to stop the other person from ringing the bell, just to see what his agility and athletic ability in that sense is.
Right. Because I'm trying to think, have we ever seen Theo in something that involved like agility like that, where you had to kind of, change direction quickly or, do more than just run straight?
Nothing that I can really think of off top.
Right. Me either. So
yeah,
it would be nice to see it though. But yeah.
So now I'm going to just follow up with my male pick with my women's pick as well before we get into the fans.
Yeah.
And I think this one is unanimous, and you can't find a better pick than this, and that's Casey.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're all on the same page there. Good. Yeah, you read the room right.
All right. Well, then here we are for speed. You know what I mean?
It's a little bit ironic, honestly. Like,
we went all football players. Oops.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I can't really think of anybody else that would be good in that spot. I think that Casey would be good in multiple of these categories, but I just can't think of anybody else that would be good in that spot. But I do want to say it's just ironic because as I look at our notepad here, it says agility, and then in the little parentheses, it says speed, balance and movement. And as soon as I read balance, all I think about is Casey freaking slipping on that damn rock and breaking her knee.
Oh.
And I'm like, can we really give it to Casey though? But I mean, who else?
It's speed and agility, not sure-footedness.
No, I mean,
we're just going to erase balance. No,
we've
I'm just
seen, and this is not to knock on the women, but like Casey's in like a different league than most of the women speed wise.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, like there's women that I think are somewhat close, like a Tori in a really short race. But anything over like 200, 300, 400 meters, I think Casey starts to pull away from all these girls.
That's fair.
There might be someone at a longer distance I would take, but for a short burst and the ability to move around and be agile, like I think of a balls in competition or the one where the ball gets thrown in the mud pit and they have to run out there. Do I think any woman is going to be able to outperform Casey in that? And my answer is no.
In speed to getting to the thing.
Getting to the ball and then getting away from people.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think you bring up a great point there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like I think our male picks are going to be the first ones at the ball and then they wrestle and duke it out. Casey is like getting there and, could maybe beat the rest of them before they even get there.
Right.
100%. Yeah. Okay, so let's get into
some of the
I'm sorry.
Really quick?
Fan responses. Let's go.
Okay, so some of the fan responses, and I actually think there's one in here that's really interesting that we didn't talk about. I'll start with the women. We didn't talk about her. I still think we are on the right track with Casey, but I just want to throw this out there. Amber B.
Ooh, that is good.
I like.
I just don't know how fast she is. Like, have we ever seen her just go?
If we needed to put Casey in another category, I feel like Amber's a decent pick.
Agreed. Yeah, but and my thing is we've only seen her speed in a final, which is still I would consider it endurance, not a short agile run.
You know what? That's a great point. There's some of these longer runs, I'm mixing speed and endurance a little. I'll give you that. I need to keep that in my mind.
And then somebody else for women said Rachel, and I thought that was interesting.
In her younger years.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do I still think she competes with Casey? I feel like Casey, but I think those are all really good honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for the men, it looks like a lot of people in here put in Jordan. Which major props, but I just would want Jordan somewhere else. And then we've got a shout out for Derek K. Shout out for Emmanuel. And then a shout out for Adam. So
the agility on Emmanuel that's almost like the counterpoint to my Theo. Like his agility is so high compared to everybody else's. I just don't know where his speed's at. That's interesting. That made me breathe deep. I had to think about that one. You know what? Who would be my second pick, but I just need him somewhere else because the way I've got mine lined out would be Horacio.
Yeah. Horacio would be great for agility, but
it's speed too. I mean, he played forward, in a professional soccer league. You got to be quick. I mean,
oh yeah.
Has Horacio's done 3 now seasons?
Yeah, he did. Ride or Dies, Battle of New Champ, and 40.
Those first 2 blend together for me for a minute. I was like, I think it's only 2. No, okay, yeah, you're right. Good memory,
Aren't
good
those
memory.
the same?
Dude, I get Ride or Dies and like Spies.
I'm gonna be honest.
Lies.
I hoed Horacio here. I was thinking he was only in 2 seasons. I don't have him here. I gotta work him in my list somewhere.
Definitely.
And I'm gonna get to where I have Horacio here in a minute, but I think we go into strength next.
Okay. I'm good with that.
That's good.
And Karina, do you want to lead off or do you want me to lead off? Because I have an interesting take, I think, on this.
You can go ahead.
Okay, so I think the quickest pick and the one that comes to my mind just based on feats would be CT, right? But I think CT is better placed somewhere else.
Okay.
I agree.
And that's the only reason he's not going here.
Yeah.
So I'm going by pound for pound who I think the strongest guy in the challenge is. And I'm going Derek K.
Okay.
Oh, I like it. It's bold. Because you would look at Derek K and you wouldn't be like, he's the strongest guy. The strength is of the strength.
Pound for pound, like if you compared his strength to because the only other guy I could think of is like Zach, right?
That's
a good one.
If you gave Derek K another 100 pounds of muscle to work with, how fucking strong is he then?
He'd be deadly.
Yeah.
So that's my pick.
Derek K is a fair
fine.
pick. Did you want to go, Alex?
No, you can go.
Okay. So my male pick for strength, I actually kind of went the same way you did, and I went with an OG, except I went with the Godfather, Mark Long.
That's reputable.
I like the Mark Long.
Yeah.
It's hard to not go with Mark. Like and I was thinking kind of the same thing. I guess the way I was kind of looking at it is like carrying strength, right? Because we had a lot in the challenge where you have to carry heavy shit. And so that's kind of where I was kind of going with it. Yeah. I definitely, originally my mind immediately went to CT with the Swan.
Yes.
And, from Rivals. And, but again, I want CT in a different category. So I personally landed on Mark Long for this one.
I'm so curious. This is the game of the night. Where do we all have CT here? He's not in my strength category either, as is how I will start here. And so for the men, I went in OG, and I like Karina, I was thinking literally just pick things up and put them down. And like, that's the only quality I think not the only quality this person has. This person really amplifies this really well. I went with Brad though.
Oh, I like that. I think that's respectable.
I feel like Brad has been strong through multiple generations of the challenge too, which I know it's hard. Because I'm taking these people usually where they're at now, but I'm still, considering the past a little.
Right. Yeah.
No, absolutely. You know who I think would be a good argument too would be Landon.
Landon would be a good one for strength.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could make a good argument.
Lifting his fresh meat partner up a mountain, full force. Like, I've got you.
45-degree angle, pushing her ass up there. Literally pushing her ass up there.
He was. Yeah. No, that is a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Who do you have for
female ones?
A woman? Yeah.
I bounced around putting this person in a few different places, but I actually landed with Jenny West here.
Okay. Yeah,
I think
I like that.
Not as much like Brad picking stuff up and putting them down. While I do think she has that, I feel like if Jenny was going to hit you, the strength of that hit is, terrifying for a lot of the women there.
Unless you're Tori Deal.
Yeah. That's I'd be curious if either of you guys had her here. I considered her. The women's strength side is a little different, and I don't want to say it's not as important for them, but it just doesn't feel like it comes up as much, maybe.
Yeah, I had a hard time with this, and I'm going to kind of jump in because my pick is the only person I thought that could physically compete with Jenny in like a hall brawl or a pole wrestle, and that's Emily Schramm.
Oh, that's a great pick. That's a really good pick. Emily's really strong.
And the only reason I really didn't pick Jenny West right here is because I want her in a different category for the women.
I bounce Jenny around a lot, so I get that.
Yeah, but I think those two interchangeable in almost any category you have on here. So who do you have for the women?
Okay, so this one was actually like one of the hardest ones for me to choose for the women.
This was difficult.
My actual original, like where my mind straight went to was actually Cara. But I really want Cara somewhere else. So just for everybody, before you jump our asses for not having Cara right here,
don't comment yet.
I personally have Cara elsewhere, and that's why she's not here in strength. And I also went through thoughts like Evelyn, which I thought was really interesting. But the hard part with that is I just don't have anything like recent to compare it to in like these recent, more stronger base seasons. So I also landed on Jenny West for strength. I think she is just one of the overall strongest women. And again, I was picturing kind of carrying stuff. And when I think of that, I see Jenny being like the only one who didn't struggle carrying those big ass barrels on, what was that? Total Madness, that first challenge. That's kind of how I was picturing it. And that is eventually what landed me on Jenny West.
You know what? I'm not mad about it. I think, like we said, they're interchangeable at this position. And the only reason I'm bringing that up is because I'm going to jump the lead again on endurance. for this.
Wait, let's hear some of the fans first.
Goddamn fans. You got to speak up, fans. I'm here. I'm rolling. You're not saying nothing.
Rick forgot about you.
I'm screaming.
Okay, so for strength, we have a lot of Jenny West in here. We also have a lot of Fessel in here. We have CT and Kara in here. Wes. Okay. Joss, which I thought was interesting.
Popcorn.
Darrell, which, okay. And not to say that I don't think that the Darrell is physically strong. I just personally wouldn't put Darrell in strength.
Yeah, I don't know
other places.
Yeah.
And then the one that I did find a little odd was Jordan. I just not saying that Jordan's not physically strong. I just don't think of him as there's like so many other things I would put him in before I would put him in strength.
I had him in my strength for a minute. I'll be honest.
Did you?
Yeah,
okay, so maybe it's just me.
I just feel like, sorry, go ahead.
Alex. When I think of Jordan, I know he's got a lot of really good physical attributes. But I just, when I picture Jordan, I picture him as, one of the strongest. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And I think for me, it's, once again, like CT, I can picture him in almost every category.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part for me to distinguish. Obviously, we're playing by different rules than everybody else. But, okay. Do we have any other fan ones that you wanted to read off?
Those were good ones.
For physical strength, no, I think I got all the ones that we didn't talk about. There was actually somebody on here who did list Derek K. So I was really glad that you actually had him on your list.
Good.
Did anybody say Zach? Because I think Zach's a sleeper pick too.
Zach is not. I don't think Zach's on this one, but I know that Zach was brought up on one of these answers somewhere. So we'll get to it. But
I
was
think
not
Zach
brought up
is
in
a
the
little
strength.
the especially like people remember him being so big and strong, but they also just remember him like gassing out at the end.
Yeah,
right.
And I know that's not like a strength thing per se, but I think that kind of I don't want to say taints people's memories, but I think they sort of remember that more than like his feats.
Which is wild because to me, War of the Worlds 2 was a much harder final than Free Agents. And he was one of the only guys on Team America that was like, all right, let's go. Let's keep going.
Yeah. No. But it's just like, how do I say this? Like failure sticks out more in people's minds, as lame as that sounds. So like, it just, especially for a dude his size, it's more expected. Where we're talking about Derek K, we don't expect that from him. So when we see it, it's a thing. And so when we don't see it with Zach, we point to that.
I agree with that. Okay, I'm going to switch it up a little bit. Instead of going men first, we're going to go women first because I think men are going to be the more interesting conversation here.
Oh, are we moving into endurance? Right?
Yeah, we're going into endurance.
Okay,
so,
perfect.
Karina, who do you have for endurance for women?
Gosh, why you put me on the spot? So this one was actually another one that was really tough, but for the opposite reason of the strength one, I honestly feel like there are so many women that could fit so perfectly into this category. So because I just felt like this was the absolute best place that I could put her. This is where I personally put Amber B.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, she's done 3 seasons, so that's fair. I'm not mad about
qualifies.
it. Okay.
She qualifies.
I mean, it's a hot take. I don't know if it's a correct take, but it's a hot take.
Okay.
Alex,
I think it's correct for endurance.
I think I got you beat.
Is a little different because I think, especially like I was talking with the speed thing, endurance bleeds into some of these other things. How long can you hold on to heavy things? How long can you run fast? So for me, this is, I don't want to say like a catch-all category, but it touches a lot of other categories.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
With its sort of branding. And so I took someone, I don't want to say that is good in all these categories, but I think that it's ironic given one of their last outings, but I took for endurance Laurel.
Ooh. You know what?
Okay. I don't hate that.
Yeah, I think
outside
if
of
you
her last
erase
season.
her, it literally just came to my mind. If I'm being honest, if you erase that last outing, I think Laurel's endurance over generations has been, very strong.
Right.
I agree. Once again, lucky this lovely lady has done 3 seasons, but the reason I picked Emily Schramm in strength is because I'm picking Jenny West in endurance. how do you argue she outswam every woman and every guy outside of Jordan Wisely?
Yeah.
She beat every male and female competitor in 35 in the final, including Bananas.
This is going to be my only time I should talk Jenny West. I brought it up on the podcast, but I will never forget in 40 her huffing and puffing in that challenge against Anissa. It was so opposite what I picture Jenny West that it stands out to me, that I worry that maybe like her endurance or speed and agility is not what I once thought it was. That was why I kept her out of literally that one challenge sticks out in my mind. I know that's crazy.
Look, I'm just going to hype up my girl here for my spot and just say, look, she's one of those, she doesn't get ready in the first part of the season, much like LeBron. She's primed and ready for the end, for the finals run, not
and that's when
the
it
playoffs
matters.
and finals.
That's when it matters. Yeah. That's funny.
Got it.
No, that makes sense. You know, the endurance is like, you don't want someone who gasses out by the end of the season.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. And look, she's got 2 final runs where the only person that beat her is probably who most people are going to pick for this next topic for the guys, or for this current topic for the guys. So, which I think let's get into.
I know. And I just want to lead this off by saying, I don't know if you've changed, but I know you're actually saving that person for something else. Are you not?
Oh.
So I almost kind of want to start with you for the endurance on the guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going.
I want to know who you thought was comparable to him in endurance.
Full disclosure, I am taking factors outside of just the challenge into account because part of the person that everybody else is going to takes things from outside of the challenge. Oh, he does triathlons for fun. Oh. Well, my guy does 100-mile races for fun. My guy does death races for fun, and I'm taking Horacio for endurance.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's not a bad,
No, it's not a bad one at all. He snuck in there with the 3rd season.
Yeah, and you know what? It's only because I want Jordan for one category in specifics.
I know
and
I
don't think anybody beats Jordan in this.
So then, Karina, you have Jordan as well for endurance?
Yeah. God.
It feels right. It feels real right.
It does. It really does. But the messed up thing is that the category that Rick is saving Jordan for,
you feel good about
also feels so right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick with my original thought because I'm going to just stick with my original thought. And I'm also going to, yes, I have Jordan as well for endurance, and I'm going to stick with that. But I am just going to put it out there that I am open for my mind to be changed in the final debate. I will be this will be one of the topics I'm open on. Some of these I'm not going to be open. I'm like, no, you're stupid. My mind is already like, floop, floop, floop.
Okay, so
this is fun. No, this is what we're doing it for.
So we've got 2 for Jordan and endurance, and then mine being Horacio. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see what some of the fans said.
Fans, and then I'm going to go into gameplay, and I will tell you one of the picks I have.
Okay. All right. So for endurance, first of all, a buttload of Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan.
A buttload of Jordan. A buttload of Tori, which I think is an incredible pick.
Yeah,
I don't know I had her here, but I like it. I
have it somewhere else.
For somewhere else that I would really want her for something else. So, and contrary to what you said, there's actually a buttload of Amber Bees in here as well.
Okay.
I'm just saying,
I love Amber Bee.
If you had to pick between Amber Bee or Jenny West to win a final, who are you picking?
I don't know. It depends on the final.
Made up of pure endurance.
Anyway, so we also have a shout out in here for Rachel. And
I like
then
the Rachel
we
love.
had a shout out in here for Landon.
Yep.
Landon.
That's solid. Both of those.
We had a shout out in here for Kyle.
Ooh.
Which is an interesting one that I didn't even consider.
I was looking for the stand-up comedian column for Kyle.
Yeah. Ooh. Nelly T would be one too. He had
Nelly
great
would
endurance.
be good for endurance.
Yeah.
Yep. And then another one that I'm not going to say.
Okay. So
Voldemort.
let's get into gameplay. And
all right.
I'm going to lead off with adaptability.
So before we talk about them all, though, let me just say, this is my category. I love this shit. So this one was tough for me. I cycled it a lot here, so I'm excited to get into these.
All of them except for adaptability was hard for me.
Okay, I love it.
This one was easy. So I'm going to lead off with the men, and this is why I picked Horacio in endurance, is because give me a Jordan in adaptability. The man has dominated the challenge with one hand. There has not been a season format that he has not won, whether it's pairs, teams, and now individual.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, this is what I was talking about.
Okay.
He has been thrown in the redemption house and came back and won a season. He has won season 30 and season 40. He shows up when it matters most.
I don't hate this at all. I honestly, before you did your explanation, I was going to give you some pushback because I feel like Jordan comes in and plays the same game every time. And so to me, that's not like flexible, adaptable, this, that, whatever. But I like that you're saying he's played from all positions. He's played from partners. He's played from teams. He's played from individuals. He makes it work. Even if it's a little rough sometimes, he will make it work. And I don't hate it at all. You won me over in like 30 seconds. I'm not going to lie, because I was going to push back.
I'm just going to say, Jordan's biggest knock is he's an asshole to work with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was able to adapt his style and get Anissa to a final. And the only reason they lost is because she blew her fucking ACL.
Oh, yeah, the ACL. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, that is a feat
I
in
don't
adaptability.
hate it. That is much more adaptable than what I was originally thinking when I was thinking of Jordan. Because I think of Jordan, if he comes in, I don't think he... Like, I know this sounds so weird, but I don't think, like, when Jordan enters the house, I don't feel like he looks at the field and says, oh, you know what? Because of the people that are here, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z this time. I feel like Jordan comes in and is like, this is what I'm doing, and you know, get on or get out of my way. But I like that you're saying, and you've proven it, like, he's done it from all angles. He doesn't just do it from the same position every time. He's been on top. He's been on bottom. I really like this pick. I'm with Karina here. You've swayed me a bit.
Yeah, I told you it's tough. Like once you know, like the other topic or the other category he's saving it for, it's like shit.
I put thought into this.
Yeah,
I really put thought into this.
Good. I'm gonna do mine just because I feel like we're talking similar-ish reasons. Hate the man. But love the game sometimes. I think Bananas is extremely adaptable. And I think part of that is the number of times he's played. You know, experience garners wisdom and when to go left or right. I think Bananas is really good at preemptively making a move, and he's not scared to ditch someone if he has to.
I'm going to be honest. I had a hard time not putting Bananas in any of these three.
Yeah.
Every single one, I was like, strategy, Bananas.
Yeah,
social, Bananas. Adaptability, Bananas. I really had to think this through. So I'm not mad about this pick. I think it's a solid pick.
And I think it's one of the best moves I've ever seen on the challenge. It was the Challenge USA 2. It was Bananas, his plan hat trick, where he got everyone to vote all these different things, and and he was like, it's going to cause X, Y, and Z. And then within the next like 1.5 episodes, X, Y, and Z happened. And I was like, that's amazing. Yeah. And he's playing from the dead bottom here. Like, you know what I mean? He is public enemy number one. He's outnumbered. There's no MTV people. And he was shifty and flexible. I was really impressed because I, at one point, would have said the same thing I was saying about Jordan, that I feel he plays the same way every time. But on my rewatch, I've seen that, you know, he really doesn't. He plays to the group that's there.
Agreed. Karina, who do you have?
I also have Bananas in adaptability. This one, and
I'm changing your guys' mind. Lately.
I just want to say, I just want to say, like these three, and the three guys, especially the three guys that I put in these three categories that we're going to talk about for gameplay, was the hardest placements, and I feel like literally any three of them could go in any of the three spots. But for adaptability, I went with Bananas, literally for all the reasons you just said, Alex. So I'm not going to repeat all that. But yeah, it's just, it's hard to argue just how great, and you see it with how many seasons he's been on, how long he lasts on all of these seasons with all these different types of casts, these different formats. these different twists and surprises from TJ, and he handles it. He handles it with, I don't even want to say with class. He handles it with chaos, which makes the show even better. And so I had to end up landing on Bananas for this one.
And I can make an argument for Bananas just on his ability to adapt to what's happening in the season to make it more interesting, like he did with 40.
Yeah.
He didn't have to have that fight with Tori. He made that fight with Tori.
Yeah. He didn't have to play footsies with people, but he did for our sake.
For us. He did that for us.
He did us.
He gave us a piece of himself with that foot fetish. He didn't have to do that.
Bananas is, look, I still am not like rooting for the guy when he's on a season, but I've really come around on him. I used to like hate him, but on my rewatches, I just I saw him in a different light. I was like, some of this shit's kind of impressive. And I think it falls a lot into the adaptability category, because when you've won as much as he has, there's no reason he should get as far as he does every time, but he does. He makes it deep, or, midway to deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, he never, outside of Traders, in his first season on the challenge, he's rarely first one out. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And I mean, the Traders is not like 100% his fault. Like, we like to rag on him or whatever, but someone's got to die first.
Yeah. Geesley knew who he was, so he was priority one. And
smart move by Dan, honestly.
It really was.
Keeping CT over Bananas is like, you don't want both of them there, honestly.
Yeah.
No.
And honestly, if I was CT, I would have murdered Bananas.
Yeah. I always find it so interesting, the people that do know each other. Like, I feel like I would murder them. One of the first ones would be like, oh, I would never murder Bananas. Why? It couldn't be me. But then it's like,
he's my boy.
Yeah, he's my boy in real life. That sucks.
Yeah. Why would I do that?
It's the perfect cover. So dumb. Perfect cover. Yeah, so that would have been fun to see.
100%.
Okay, so
good on adaptability. Women?
Yeah, women. Who do you have for adaptability? This one I struggled with. I honestly I struggled.
I struggled with this one, but do you want me to start?
Yeah, start off.
Okay, so I did struggle with this one, and I'm sorry to steal your lightning, but I actually took cue from you, and some of the points that you made kind of convinced me here. I'm not
sharing my list anymore.
Are you sure you don't want to go first?
No, go ahead. Name her off. Okay. You're going to save me a lot of talking.
I'm actually going with Cara Maria for this. I think that the way Cara is able to adapt, not just to the game and not just to the format and the twist, but socially. Mm-hmm. She could literally be in a season full of alliances and friends, or literally full of a house that fucking hates her. Yeah. And she will figure out a way to make it at least to the end, and almost every time to the final. So I think that Cara is one of the best examples for women for adaptability to the game, both socially and the actual, like, what the show actually puts together.
Ditto what she said.
No, I like that. I think that all the stuff we were listing about Bananas, you can list a lot of that for Cara as well. She's seen a lot of seasons now. She's seen a lot of formats. She's seen a lot of twists. So I love that. I think my pick is in a similar vein, but a different journey, if you will. I put Tori here.
Oh,
and I think the reason I put Tori is her and Devin, for all intents and purposes, are the like newest kids that have like made themselves like OG vets. Does that make sense? Yes. They like snuck in, did a few seasons, and then all of a sudden they're like, no, we're with the cool kids now. No, we're not new anymore. And, Tori was really doing it like her first and second season. She was already part of like the cool kids. And so I just think in a game that is so clicky, that's really impressive.
Yeah.
I do like that. That's a good one.
I think Tori can fit in a lot of categories. So not surprised to not see her here, but I always think that is like a big strength of Tori's, as I always say, she like got in the in crowd like instantly, and that just doesn't happen in the challenge.
So I have Tori. Well, I'm bouncing between Tori and another girl in one of this categories.
Let's talk about them.
Well, let's do the fans.
Some of the fans responses for adaptable. Let me just see if there's anything like new in here that we didn't talk about. We've got Jenny Casey. We've got Fessy.
Yeah,
Fessy for adaptability. I'm gonna push on that one a little. I don't know.
I don't agree with that fully.
I feel here's my problem: is Fessy will make changes, but I feel like they always hurt his game.
Yes,
I mean he's adapting to go on to American Gladiators.
Yeah.
I did see that. Yeah. Laurel was in here, which I thought was all right, but
Laurel's so rigid.
She's brute force.
She adapts, but she's angry about it. Like it's not a good adapt. It's not a good adaptation. Like
where people like adaptability is someone like moving the puzzle piece around till it fits. Laurel is trying to like shove the puzzle piece in there.
She's going to make that adapt to her.
Exactly.
Yeah, the example I was going to give was she was going to take that square peg with a rubber fucking mallet and just pound it into the round hole till it fits.
And she's like, look, it adapted. It's adaptable.
All right, now I'm going to throw out a really interesting one.
Okay.
First of all, I just want to throw a shout out for Devin. I have a feeling we're going to see him elsewhere in these next couple of categories. I know, at least for me, we will. Mm-hmm. But this one was actually somebody who did not come to mind for me in these categories, this gameplay category. And it's a little interesting, depending on how you look at it. But Ashley Mitchell.
Oh, I love Ashley.
I almost feel like it's like in the middle of like where Laurel is.
Yeah.
And where like, you know, like
she's
Tori,
a little bit
Cara,
of both.
it like,
and
yeah,
you know
she's kind of.
She's not too flexible, which is also good.
Right.
I think if there was like a category for politicking, she would win that one.
Isn't that called social?
It is. That plays a role in social.
Yeah, wait, I wrote politicking. Wait, you guys wrote something else? No, I'm kidding.
Well, shit, let's jump into social because I think this is an interesting one.
Yeah.
But not as interesting as strategy. So with social, I'm going to lead it off with the women. And I really spent some time because originally I was thinking Tori.
It's a good one.
But I have Tori moving somewhere else instead. So I'm going to go with Anissa. Think of a social gameplay that's lasted longer than hers and is adapted to every season, and she's been able to make friends and alliances.
Gotten into also though,
but she's also made it almost to the end every single season.
Her social game outside of the challenges is top tier, which is important to the challenge.
And I'm going to be honest, this is one I struggled with. This is I was thinking Tori, but I want Tori somewhere else.
Okay, so. I like that. I don't hate that. I was not on my list though.
No, and I'm okay with if somebody comes in with something that I didn't think of being like, yeah, let's put that in our ultimate one. But for mine, Anissa.
Okay.
Alex, who do you got?
To me, I think of social as someone who is just like a social champ. Like that is their championship. That is their way. You can play a strictly social game in the challenge and do well. You know what I mean? And I think no one embodies this more than John A.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's a fire pick.
That's actually not bad.
Everyone loves John A now. They all love her.
True.
And she won back-to-back almost 3 times in a row because of her amazing social game and her strategy. And she had, just enough physical and all that. But like, I think it all starts with John A's social game.
That's a good one.
I do have a runner-up to that now that you put it that way, but I'm going to wait till we get to the honorable mentions. Karina, who's yours?
So this is actually going to make this topic really interesting because I have a whole new one. So we'll have 3 different to debate. But for the women for social, the best person that I could think of, I couldn't think of anybody who plays the social game better than this person since literally the dawn of the fucking challenge, straight up through 40. So I'm giving it to Veronica, Ms. V-Cakes.
Ooh.
I think she is just the epitome of how you play social in this game.
I like that pick.
I think she could have been great for our last gameplay category as well. But for me, she embodies social more than she does any of the other categories. So I'm going Veronica in social.
I love it.
I really like that one, actually. And I really like that one. Okay, for the guys, who do you have for social?
For me?
Yeah.
Are we starting with me for social, for guys for social?
Yeah, and then go Alex back to me, and then I'll let Alex lead off the next category because I think his intro to strategy is going to be very interesting.
Okay, so for my social, for my guy, I had to go with the best looking ginger in the entire world, Mr. Wes Bergman. I think the way that he just handles relationships, manipulate, and I'm thinking relationships like I'm thinking his entire career, right? The love relationships he's had, the alliances that he's had, the manipulation he pulled on Evan on 2 different seasons to go against CT, both fucking times, and lost to CT both fucking times, and Wes manipulated him into it both fucking times. Insanity. I'm thinking just all the manipulation Wes does. To me, Wes is the master manipulator. And I just feel he fits a lot better in social than strategy because of that aspect. So
yeah, I like it.
I'm going with the ginger.
God, that's a really good point. Okay, I might have to switch mine up. All right, go ahead. Who you got, Alex?
I didn't go Wes here. You guys know I love Wes, but for me, the social, he gets in a lot of fights. But what I'll say that you actually really convinced me on is he's always using those fights. They're not just like pointless things. They're jumping boards. They're what have yous. So like while that quote unquote looks bad socially, he's still using the social game to his advantage. I really like that pick. For me, I've weighed all the pros and cons, did the math, checked the numbers, balanced it, and I'm giving my social spot to the King CT himself.
Oh,
and I know this is a big deal and probably not where either of you guys have him, but let me list out that CT, like we said before, could fit into a litany of these categories. Why did I choose him for the social game? CT is someone that should not make it out of like the first 5 rounds of any season. They should all be terrified of him, and they're not. They love him. They want to hang out with him. They want to see him. His social game won him a whole different reality show in The Traitors. I think that for someone as big and scary as he is, they just let him slide to the end so often because it's a combo of like, they like him and they're quote unquote like, I don't want to go against him in a challenge. But like, even if they didn't want to go against the strongest in the challenge, if they didn't like him, they'd be throwing him in every time. But they never do.
That's a good point.
They all love him. And he has socially won all the fans over. We all just love him. Everyone loves CT.
No, he does. And honestly, like, just to kind of add to that point, because CT obviously was one of my options for this this category.
One of our options for every
category.
We had to weigh it,
like puzzles, math, memory.
His social game literally got him a back-to-back win in recent seasons.
Recently.
Like, you know,
his social game's better than ever, honestly.
Yeah. You can't argue CT in literally any of these categories, but you really, really can't argue him in social. So I like that.
Exactly. I mean, once again, I could put him here if I didn't have him somewhere else.
Yeah.
You almost really convinced me on Wes on this one. And the only reason I'm not going Wes is because he gets found out every fucking season.
That's fair.
Like if he ever pulled it off where he was actually I can't talk right now, but if he was actually able to pull off these moves and win it without CT as a partner or with, in the duel, which was in 2006, I would go with
He won All Stars.
He did win All Stars. He did. And I'm also looking at social for this person. I'm including his significant other because they changed dramatically how he played one of his seasons. And it was one of his best seasons ever. So I'm going with Leroy Garrett. One of the most universally lovable in the challenge house, cuts motherfuckers' hair. So he knows all the inside shit that's going on in that house. Because have you ever not talked to your barber?
He knows all the tea. All the tea gets spilt to Leroy when he's in the house for sure. You know that for sure.
It is one of his best strengths. My worry about Leroy is I feel like he almost doesn't know that that's one of his best strengths.
Right.
And the only reason I go against that is because of Cam and how she helped him in Double Agents.
Right.
And for
His
that
last
reason,
season, yes.
For that reason, that's why I have Leroy. And it showed once again in All Stars 4 when Cam was there. Leroy, once again, very strong social game, but never got played.
Yeah.
Where before Cam, he gets played. Cara throws him in at the end. You know, blah, 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 blah. The same story every fucking season.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cam levels him out. So that's why I have Leroy as my social game.
Leroy. Yeah, love it.
Yeah. So
social game. All right, let's take a look at the fan responses here really quick. All right, so looks like we've got a lot of Tori, a lot of Devin, a lot of Jordan.
CT.
We've got this one I don't agree with. Somebody wrote Veronica, of course, and then they said Evan. I don't agree with that one.
No, that was not his strength.
Leroy and Rachel. Okay,
Leroy,
that's fair.
Rachel's a good one.
Yeah, especially after 40, after that many years off. 40.
So here's a few we actually didn't think of that is very interesting, actually. Number 1, Nani.
Nani was one of my sleepers for social because that's how she gets through every season.
It is how she gets through.
Facts. Next one, Michelle has a great social game.
Has she done
Michelle
3? There.
Yeah, she's done 3.
Has she done 3? Yeah. She's done 3 now. Yeah. So, I mean, she could qualify.
She's done like 4, actually.
I was going to say she might be on 4 if you count the USA season she did.
Right.
So
yeah,
if
that's
you count
true.
that, I think it's 5 because she did Spies Lies, Ride or Dies, Battle for a New Champ, and Season 4.
You're right.
And then, so she more than qualifies.
I would take Ashley Mitchell over social over Michelle, though. I'm just going to be honest.
Agreed.
I'm going off of Survivor also, though. Michelle has top-notch social game. That is what she's known for.
True.
Agreed.
And then Josh.
Ooh, I'm not mad.
For social. I'm not mad at it. I know everybody hates Josh, but you can't deny the social game that he has in the house.
And if you go Big Brother, social-wise, that's his strength. That's what he does.
You know what? I'm going to drop Anissa. I'm taking Nani.
You taking Nani?
You convinced yourself live. I like that. Yeah.
Noodle Nani.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's how she gets through every season. I mean, Anissa, you can make an argument her strength and intimidation got her through a lot of those early seasons.
Okay.
But social, she's kind of gotten better at the end. Nani, that's all she's ever had. She'll throw noodles at you and still say she loves you.
Call you corny and then give you a hug.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going Nani.
She gets away with it. Like that's the thing is that
she's charming.
She's the mom, right? Like she moms everybody in the house. And she gets away with it. Nobody gets like pissed and throws her into elimination as like punishment for it. She like it's not a bad pick.
She got Turbo to a final.
I still can't. The way she yells at him.
That is she does like she's a mom. She's so very mom. Turbo, get inside. He's like, it's too hot in there. Because there's a social game going on, Turbo. I need to eat these grapes outside.
Turbo, just get off the fucking couch.
No, I can't.
It's great. It's so good, you know? I mean.
What do you guys think about the reprise of Turbo? He's back. He's M41, isn't he?
Yeah, he's M41. I think it's only because Nani's there. Give me a season of Turbo without Nani and let's see how he fares.
Yeah,
because we've seen it once and he lasted 3 episodes.
True, yeah, something like that, if that.
And then there came out allegations that he's like abusing that girl.
Oh God,
like
no.
social, like not abusing like that, like physically, but like mental abuse is what I was saying. Anyways, let's move on to a better subject, which is the strategy section.
Yes.
And Alex, I'm going to let you lead off and you can choose male or female, however you want to dive into this.
I'm going to start with my male. I think it's more obvious. I think the Ginger Wes is the best strategist the house has ever seen. I just think he, like we were talking about adaptability wise, knows the next 2-3 moves to play, whether he's at the top, the bottom, the middle, where he needs to work, where he needs to go. I think he's always moving, plotting. The reason I ended up landing him here in strategy is sometimes those strategies work, sometimes they don't. He's a bold guy. He's going like all in on a lot of things. I don't think if you guys watched House of Villains, I think it really is just apparent when you take a group of people that maybe don't know him as well, his reputation, he just, he really can dominate strategically.
Just plays with them.
He does, yeah. And, he has a lot of fun doing it. So I think it's fun to watch also.
I like that.
All right, so I'm going to argue this with also my pick. I think seeing him in Traders showed a very key flaw in his strategy is that he does not have great adaptability. So his strategy is only good if the variable doesn't change.
Right.
As soon as the variable changes, his strategy is down the tube.
Here's my response. I agree, but I just think he actually got out strategized here by Boston Rob. And I think it was one simple thing. It is that Rob caught him off guard. Wes did not know his name was coming up that night. And I think if Wes had known that prior, I think maybe Wes would have been a bit more calm, cool, and collected. I think he really panicked because Rob caught him off guard, because that's a good read. Don't give Wes time to think about things.
It's true.
No, and that's
you can tell Rob has watched the challenge.
Yeah,
like
Rob knows all these things.
Wes.
He knows these guys. Like Rob is another like a CT where we'd be like, oh God, which category do we put him in?
100%. Yeah.
And the only reason I don't have Wes here is because I picked the guy that when Wes sees 2 or 3 moves, this guy sees Wes's 2 or 3 moves and then sees 2 more moves in front of him and gets Wes out. And that's Bananas.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think there is a guy that you can argue has better strategy. The man has done 21 seasons and navigates to the end almost every season. When the one man outside of CT that should never make a final,
Bananas,
yet has made consecutive finals in his last 2 appearances.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
And I don't really think I need to say more than 7 wins. You have to have prime strategy in order to do that.
Yeah.
Can't argue.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah, you can't argue, but like I said, you can't argue Bananas and really any of these.
No,
he's another one that he fits.
Yeah, you could put Bananas in social. I don't think he fits as great in social, but he could work in social. You know what I mean? So me personally in strategy, I took the Devin to your Wes.
Yeah, Devin's another great one.
Yeah, I think that, and again, Devin, I feel like could have been put in social. I feel like he could have been put in adaptability, not as much, because I think Devin is still learning little tricks and tweaks to his game. I think, like I said, he could have fit really well into social. Yeah. But for me, just the way that Devin views the game and the way he plans it out, the way he views his alliances, how precise he is on setting deadlines to those alliances so he doesn't get locked into stuff, like the little things that a lot of people don't think about when they go in and make these alliances. I think that really feeds to Devin's strategic ability. And that is something that I would want personally if I was, truly actually just putting like a mush man together of the perfect challenger. Yeah. I would want that. So I am going to go ahead and go with Devin there.
It's a good pick. I feel like Devin, for me, what I really like about him, but for this exercise is not great. I feel like Devin is a really good combination of social and strategy, where his moves are usually like a good combo of both. Not to say that others aren't, but I can't argue that pick because that is, that's like Devin's main game.
To me, Devin is the love child of Bananas and Wes.
I guess that's true. Yeah. I guess
he is the perfect mix of the two. He's got the strategy.
He's gone
like
against both of them. He's worked with both of them now. I'll never forget me and my brother. One of the funniest moments was, and it's not funny, it was like ridiculous. It was when Bananas and his cousin went to pretend punch Devin and he flinched, and the two of them just start laughing like they're middle schoolers. I was like, what are we watching? It's like the middle of the night. They're all drunk. I was like, what is going on right now? And that was where at the moment I was like, all right, Devin's cool. It was like his first season too.
It was, you know what? I liked Devin his first season. I did not like him on, what was that? Vendettas or Final Reckoning, where he came in late.
Yeah.
It was just, it wasn't a good season for him. And now getting to know Devin and talking to him, he knows he shouldn't have been on that season. But anyways.
Very CT duel too.
I digress.
I gotcha. Yeah.
For the women, Alex, who did you pick for strategy?
I was surprised this came up, but I'm happy. Recently just spoke about her. She was brought up in tandem to someone's game, boosting it, elevating it. And I think it's because this woman is a brilliant strategist. And I don't think people think this, but Killa Cam's best strength is she understands the moves and pieces and how they need to be laid out for her to get to the end.
I like that.
That I didn't even cross my mind. I love it.
It took me a while to, I cycled through a lot here, but I wanted to get Cam on here. And once it was like there, I was like, oh, and it's an underrated one, I know. So I wanted to shout out her strategic prowess. I really like it.
Yeah, no, I love that. Honestly, I didn't consider it. And looking through all the fan submissions, neither did anyone else.
Rock on.
Nice.
Really? Because she's like, I'm arguing with myself right now between my top 3 and trying to figure out who I'm going to pick still. And he just said one, so I'm taking her off. But Cam was on my top 3. Anyways, go ahead. Who's your strategist?
For the women, my strategy pick, I am taking Tori.
Jesus fuck.
What?
That was my other pick.
Yeah. Oh. No, it's a good pick. It's a really good pick.
Yeah. For me, again, it came down to putting Tori either in strategy or social. Again, I think she would have been okay in adaptability, but not the best there. So, okay. So strategy or social, but just when it came down to for social, do I want Veronica or do I want Tori? I was like, no, give me Veronica with all those alliances, all that past, instead of just the vacation.
Yeah.
So, but I still love the way that Tori approaches this game, the way that she thinks about it, the way she maneuvers through votes and keeping herself and her alliances safe, and her ex-boyfriend. As much as she possibly can, which is just insanity. She is able to just cast this protective wing over so many people when she's in the house that it's just kind of like, I had to give her strategy. So
it is crazy. She does try to protect like half the house and she succeeds at it crazily.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
Like I said, you guys said 2 of the 3 that I was thinking.
Let's hear your third though.
Before I get to that, I will say Cam and I think Tori have very different views on strategy too, right?
Yeah.
And both are successful.
Yes.
I think Tori, though, has really trademarked this new version of playing the challenge that some people really don't like, which is I'm going to protect people. They are going to protect me. And if I set myself up in the center of this dahlia, I'll be the last one to fall.
Right.
Where Cam is very much, I am going to manipulate and puppeteer these people and force the game to be played the way I want to play.
My side's going to charge into battle versus the other side. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yes.
My third option is someone you just named, and that is Veronica, and that is who I will go with. Nice. I don't think you can argue strategy against her, just like you can't argue strategy against your guys' selection. I think it really was a 1A, B, and C competition, and just depending on what you value more. So I'm going to go Veronica on that.
Yeah,
nice.
I agree.
No, I can't argue that one either. That is, when I think of strategy, people will have strategies that are like, well, I'm just going to lay low and get quiet to the end. And it's like, that doesn't work much. Veronica knows when she needs to make a move, and she's not afraid to. And that's all you can ask for strategically. I have a plan. I'm going to enact it. And she does.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. And very little stands in her way of getting that plan going and executing it.
Yeah.
And she reads it. Like, you look at what happened in All Stars 5.
That's what I was
where
thinking.
All of a sudden she finds out someone's trying to switch some, and all of a sudden it's manipulation strategy. No, this is what's going to happen. This is why you're going to do it. And
it was smooth.
It was a master class. It really was. I know Katie had the master class, but really Veronica was doing the master class in the house.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
So
what do we have for the fans?
Fan responses for this is strategy. Tori, Banana CT, Tori Devin, Bananas Veronica, Wes, Ashley Mitchell.
Ashley's a good one too.
It's not a bad one. Laurel, which I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that one. Like, I'm not sure. Like, I don't think
that's her strength.
You're going to be my friend or else.
Yeah. And again, That's Laurel's strategy.
Square peg into the round
Yes,
hole.
and we're making fun of it, but it works for Laurel.
But it works for her, you know?
It works for Laurel. And CT does a little of that too. It's not as aggressive.
Can pull it off.
He makes it. He goes, I'm fitting this. He tells him first, I'm making this fit in this hole. And people be like, fine. It fits, CT. That's fine. Just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then one that wasn't brought up, but I would like to give a shout out to, I didn't really seriously consider him, but he did cross my mind for strategy just based off of the most recent time that we have seen him. And that's Frank.
I thought about Frank.
Well played.
I thought about Frank. Has Frank done 3 seasons? Fair.
Yes,
with All Stars,
he qualifies. He 100% qualifies. I'm sticking still. Yeah, I'm sticking still with what I went with, but I think that Frank is a really fair answer to that too. So
agreed.
I like that one. I love that. Yeah, I'm glad. I would have forgot, so I'm glad.
Yeah.
Now comes the most dreaded section.
I know.
Brain games. And this is the one I struggled.
I struggled with this one. I'm going to be honest. Look, 2 of mine are bits. So I'm going to lean on your guys' answers.
I'm going to be honest. Each category, I only have one person.
Ooh, okay.
One of them is girls. The other one is boy, but I don't have a girl.
We're going to have to be the most collaborative on then. We'll use the fans.
A little collab.
Yes. Yeah, this is good.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to lead this off because I have a
which category are we starting?
I'm going to start off with memory in brain games, and I'm going to start off with a guy. And while you guys both had him in different sections in the last category,
I know
I have him here just because I felt like I needed to use him, and this was the best fit for him. And I'm going Wes for memory.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good pick because it's so tough. I thought about putting him and CT down in this section, but I feel like I can get good enough brain game people where I can use that masterclass strategy and social from those 2. But I can't argue. I definitely thought about putting Wes in this category.
And it was really who do I think outweighs Wes in this? And the people that I thought could beat Wes in this section, I wanted in a different section because they're more important to me there.
Yeah. I get that.
And one of them is puzzles, which we'll get into eventually. But Alex, who do you have for memory?
I put Devin here, which I think he'll pop up in other places we've heard him once. But I always think of the light wall, and that is not an easy, because you're running back and forth. I think your memory doesn't work as well. And so for me, he won that challenge. It was against Bananas. Bananas is the GOAT of eliminations. And so I put Devin here in my memory slot because I think, and I know this is not a direct translation, but I think Devin has a good memory in terms of the game. He remembers what happens, who did him wrong, who did him right. And
that's a good point.
Yeah, I took that a little bit into consideration.
Well, and he also had that moment on, I believe it was Spy's Lies, where he memorized that 20-digit number, ran all the way down the hill, and then put it all in by himself.
That was actually nuts. Yeah.
And then remembered it later in his confessional to re-say it later when he did the confessional after the show was done filming. So, and I also just want to say, we actually did our 200th episode with Devin a few months back or whatever. But we actually did ask him if he still remembers that 20-digit number. Now, he does not remember the 20-digit number. However, he does remember all the digits that were in the number. He just, some of them were mixed,
not in the right order.
A couple were in the wrong places. And he didn't do the full 20. He only gave us the first 8 or something. And then he was I don't know, something like that. I don't remember. But he was actually pretty freaking close. So I just want to throw that out there that Devin does have an impeccable memory. And this was my biggest struggle because I went back and forth so hard between, do I want to put Devin in memory? Because in my opinion, nobody tops Devin in memory. Or do I want Devin's strategy? Would I rather have his memory or his strategy kind of thing? Obviously, I would rather have his strategy to help with the game. But that kind of fucked me because now I don't know. I literally don't have a guy for memory.
So who's your girl then?
Well, I'm going to get into that.
Or we can
I'm
do the
looking through
fans,
some of the. I'm looking through some of the fan answers, and literally almost every single person said Devin.
Hey, okay.
But somebody actually did say Derek Chavez, and I think that's not a horrible option. So I'm going to go ahead and rock with Derek Chavez just to show some love. I'm almost sure it won't make it to the final ultimate CFP challenger. But just to show Derek some love, because I love you, Derek.
Yeah, that's good. I love it.
I'm going to go ahead and go with that for the guys.
Nice.
Okay. For the girls?
Do you want me to kick it off?
Yeah, I want you to kick it off for the girls.
So for the girls, for me, this was not even a question. It was the easiest one for me to pick. And that would be Sarah Rice. I think that she has the exact same memory as Devin. And in fact, Devin learned his memory techniques from a book that Sarah recommended to him when they did Rivals 3 together. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Sarah Rice for the women on my memory.
Ditto.
I'm going to steal Sarah Rice, but I'll tell you guys the joke one that I had. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I felt like she needed to be on my list somewhere. Put Ashley Millionaire Mitchell here. And you make a memory. Why would you put Ashley in memory? And she's got such a good memory. She remembers exactly what Hunter said and with the words he used and what he called her. And that's why I'm taking the $1 million.
I love it. I love it.
Look, I'm going to be honest. That's part of the reason I picked Wes, because I was like, he probably remembers every single insult that Nanas has ever said to him.
Ever.
Exactly.
He has it written down in the journal somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think Sarah Rice is the one here. You can't really argue it.
That's literally what all of the fans said. There's a couple like CT. There was a Veronica in here. There was a Tori in here, a Michelle in here. But I think it's Sarah and Devin I think Devin. Well, I know Devin is questionable, but I'm just saying like the Sarah and Devin is the majority of what everybody's saying.
So this is one of those tough situations where I think Devin's really good at two things, and he's probably the best at those two things.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it's hard. Like, I can't argue Devin in memory. I can only argue I think he's better somewhere else.
Okay, that's fair. Let's check that out.
Okay, well,
what do you think?
I think Devin's better in puzzles, and that's why I'm picking Devin in puzzles.
I'll be honest, I don't have a male puzzler.
I don't,
because I wanted CT.
The cousin of the Riddler.
Yeah, the puzzler is the cousin of the Riddler. Devin, that could be Devin. Yeah, I thought about Devin here. Oh, that you're making this tough for me. You're making it tough.
So tough.
I just like the only guy that I think competes with Devin once again is CT.
Yeah, CT was the one that
is better somewhere else, and I refuse to take my thumb off that pulse right there.
I'm 100% with you on that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Devin's my puzzler as well.
What did the fans say for the male puzzler?
They are no fucking help. They have said CT.
Oh yeah.
They have said no, that's not a guy. So that's
Corey Wharton, Puzzle King.
Puzzle King. CT, Devin, CT, Kylan, CT, Devin.
Okay, yeah.
I have Kylan somewhere else.
Somewhere else too.
Yeah. Oh no! I think there's only one category left.
It's a sweep.
and the messed up part is I can't even copy Rick's answer because
you already used Devin.
I already used Devin.
Yeah, I used him too, so I can't copy it.
I'm gonna have to do a throwaway pick here. God, I'm trying to think who's halfway decent at puzzles. Like, I don't even know.
I'm gonna go. You inspired me, Derek Chavez.
Okay, I like that.
You could say Ryan.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'll go ahead. I'll take Ryan Kehoe. I love him. So yeah, let's just do that.
Yeah. Okay.
I like that.
For women, puzzle, Ashley Mitchell.
Ashley Mitchell.
That's a good one.
The runner up for me was John A, but it's Ashley Mitchell.
Oh, okay.
Agreed.
I went here, and this is partly my Survivor knowledge, but I went with Michelle.
I like it. Michelle is formidable.
Great. Yeah, Michelle is amazing at a puzzle. That's one of her big strengths.
That's actually,
especially if it's anything that she's seen similar in Survivor, she's a fucking whiz at it.
Yeah, she'll get
unreal.
it done quickly. And I just follow her on Instagram, and so like I just know I like see her. She does puzzles, I think, in her free time. You know, it's like
I just
plays
refuse.
games.
I just refuse to get rid of Ashley Mitchell until I see Ashley and Michelle at the same puzzle.
No, that's fair.
Okay.
That's fair. I
That's
get that.
fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
I can't argue the
ditch
Ashley
out
pick
on-
here either. That's a good one.
Yeah,
I almost had her here. I just I wanted Michelle on my list too, and so I wanted to get her in here.
I know. I'm like, can I put Michelle in the next category? Can I sneak her in there?
She's not bad at math. Yeah, you definitely could.
Yeah, but Michelle is a solid pick. She is super formidable. I think
puzzles,
outside of social gameplay on Survivor, she's known for her puzzle ability.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very reputable pick.
Agreed.
Okay, who you're going Ashley Mitchell too?
Oh yeah, and we were going to look at fan.
Yeah, let's see what they say.
For puzzles. I feel like this is going to be
all CT and Devin again.
Shout out to Nerese.
Ooh.
That's actually,
and she's done her 3 seasons.
She's done her 3 required seasons, so she can technically.
She's really good with a puzzle.
Yeah,
she's quick.
She is very good with puzzles. So, and then the rest of them, I mean, CT Veronica, CT Sarah, CT Rachel, Devin, and Nisa.
Sarah was one I thought of. I thought of as well.
Anissa's good at puzzles.
Anissa's fair.
Hold on. No, hold on. Is Anissa good at puzzles? Are you guys gaslighting me?
She's decent. I
think it's,
okay. I'll trust you. I'm gonna watch next time I see her do a puzzle. John A's a good pick here too.
In my opinion, John A would be the next best pick behind like Ashley. Somebody on here put Cam, and I remember she handled puzzles pretty well. Somebody put Michelle, so but I mean most of the guys on here is definitely CT for the puzzles.
So yeah, because
that just makes sense. I get that.
Yeah,
if I could put him in more spots than one, I would, but I am saving him for what I feel like is the perfect spot for him.
So I think this is the toughest, at least it was the toughest one for me. I'm still not sure. I have a throwaway pick kind of sitting there either way.
Okay.
And that's for math. For the women,
mine's a throwaway pick.
It's either John A or Laurel. It's Laurel because I feel like I need to have her in here somewhere. But John A, I feel like would probably win. But then again, Laurel's gone to school to become a fucking veterinarian, so she's had to take some advanced math classes.
No, that's a good point.
I'm just going to go Laurel for that simple reason, but I can be convinced outside of that.
Mine's easily. A throwaway also. I said Veronica because I go back to in Free Agents when she did the math and she realized if she changed her vote, that it was going to mess everything up. But no, I don't think she's like killing these math puzzles that they give them by any means.
Yeah.
More of a joke.
Yeah.
Here's my issue is that for this one, this was actually one that I had Cam in. I remember she handled math very well. And it was actually what got her and Kaylee, that whole Head Start thing where she got to play that whole prank on everybody. And then TJ ruined it by bringing in, mercenaries in the form of Ashley and Hunter.
Oh my God, that's so right. That's crazy. And they ended up winning.
I originally had Cam here. I think that Michelle is also a great option. And I was about to switch Cam out for Michelle just so I could have Michelle on here just to show her some love. But I think I'm just going to stick with my original pick. I'm going to go with Cam and I'm going to let her run my numbers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think we got a really well-built person, each of us individually.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to hear where we're at on this last one. And
on the guys?
Yeah, for the guys.
Do math for the guys, yeah.
Because I feel like we're all going to be on the same page on this one.
So they call this person the human calculator?
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Page. This one's easy.
I mean, like, I could make an argument for someone else, like maybe Jay.
This is the most recent in our memory, though. Jay's good at math, but like, they literally have called him the human calculator. Kylan is
Kylan.
Yeah, it's not even a contest at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. I think the only person that might be,
Devin.
Comparable, Devin, I think would be all right. Again, CT could fit really nicely in here just based off of his actual like career and what he does, like out of construction work and stuff like that. You have to be really good with numbers and measurements and math and stuff like that. So I think that would be really comparable too. But there's just something about the way that Kylan does math where it's he's not just capable of doing math. He's fucking good. It's just natural. It's just almost natural to him, like speaking English. Like, So, Kylan.
I just like
The
this
human cyborg, the human calculator, whatever you want to call him.
Like, however bad Amber B is at math, Kylan is the exact opposite of how good he is.
Somehow, he got her. Yeah,
Like-
the dose of math talent she was supposed to get, it all went to Kylan.
You know,
Somehow.
I'll be honest, Big Brother players are not known for their math skills. Kylan is the outlier there.
True.
Absolutely.
Very true, yeah.
100%.
All right, let's see really quick.
Yeah,
Did
what's
anybody
up?
do any cool, fun things in math? Let's see.
There's like 2 answers. Nobody answered math. I'm joking. That's not true.
Everyone's like,
these
math
are-
is for nerds.
Full disclosure,
Math is for
God.
nerds.
full disclosure, these questions have been out for like 3 hours, so we didn't give people a lot of time on this.
Exactly. So we've got another shout out for Nerese.
Nerese, solid picks. You know
Solid
what?
pick.
We need to get. I
Scratch
think
Laurel. Throw
Yeah.
Nerese in for
I
me
like
on
that.
math.
I'm
I
gonna
like
put Nerese for Veronica's because mine was a joke. I like that.
There you go. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Nerese should be
Nerese
on
is
here,
actually
too.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be great. As much as I hate to say this, and the devil, Amanda.
I mean,
I probably would put
Yeah.
her more in like puzzles rather than math, though. I think she's better at
God, I
puzzles
feel
than
like I've
math.
seen her struggle at some puzzles too, though.
I
But
don't know.
there are
Maybe
like
I'm
different
wrong.
types of puzzles. That's what I always forget. Is like you can be good at one type of puzzle and not another.
Not
you know what I
others.
mean?
True.
like if there was a category for riding Ashley Mitchell's coattails, I would pick it.
That
Pick her
would
for
be-
it. Yeah,
that would
that's
be
where
Amanda.
you build in Amanda.
For
at.
sure.
Sorry, that was such a dick thing to
So
say.
here's one that I completely forgot about, and I'm glad I forgot about because technically he does not qualify under our rules. But again, the fans on Instagram did not know the rules. But I just want to give a shout out because this would have been an amazing pick if he did qualify with the amount of seasons, and that is Ed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah. That's
I-
actually that's a
I-
sleeper.
Ed's
That-
a great math guy, and no one expects that from Ed.
No one expects
No.
exactly. You don't expect
Yeah.
that when you look at him, you know. So
That'd be like saying Gabo was a physicist.
And then,
exactly.
yes.
You know what? Wes fit here well
Wes,
too.
I have to.
Fit
Yeah,
math.
Wes is another good one, but his skills are needed elsewhere.
Elsewhere,
Yeah,
yeah, agreed.
I hope we get Ed on a third season. I'm legally obligated to root for him as circle representation, but
Well, and that's part of why I
he's
wanted
also
to
great.
make sure he got the shout out because
Yeah.
I knew he was in one of these categories. Somebody had put him in there,
Yeah.
and I was like,
smart.
"Oh man,
You're like, which
I
one is it?
freaking-
It's the last one. Yeah.
yeah." And I was like, "Damn it, I can't actually use him, but we can give him a shout out."
Yeah.
And then last shout out. Coming from actually one of our top engagers, top Instagram fans, much love to this guy, Brad Jones. He wants to send a special love and shout out to Nelson and Nicole on their math skills.
Okay.
And then he says,
Took me a
JK,
minute.
JK, it's CT and Cam. So
I was trying to be nice because I was like, "Oh yeah, they're back," and I was like, "Hold
Oh,
on,
yeah.
no,
No.
I've seen
Try
them
to count the
time
triangles.
out." Yeah.
Corey and Nicole counting the triangles.
That's
and,
why I had to
Oh
say
my god.
Corey for fucking Puzzle King.
Yeah.
Corey goes, "This is a triangle. This is a
Most-
triangle. This is a triangle."
a
Most
long
improved
square.
though, Corey Wharton. All right.
Most
Most
improved.
improved. Yeah, Corey Wharton in puzzles.
Maybe we'll debate that someday.
I don't think you could give most improved to Corey for anything. His first season, he gets second place. He's never improved
yeah.
past
Oh,
that.
he said in puzzles. Yeah.
You just in
I'm
puzzles.
sorry.
That's
Oh,
it.
just in puzzles. Ooh,
yeah,
sorry.
most
No.
improved.
Okay.
But yeah, it would actually be fun to do like a most improved from like when they started to, but it'd be so convoluted because then we'd have
It's
to,
hard. There's ups and downs too.
because then you're comparing, Banana's 20 season run to Fessy's 6 season run. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be hard. But
All right.
anyway, sorry. Okay. Last category of the night
And
for our
this
ultimate challenge.
could be considered the most important because
It
it
could
just
be.
breaks down to one thing: entertainment.
Mhm.
Like we said.
What? So
What? Go ahead.
tell me, what entertains you guys when you watch the challenge?
To me, it's good confessionals.
Yeah. Make me laugh.
Make me laugh. Give me fucking inside information.
Ooh,
Talk about shit.
yes.
Bring drama.
Oh,
Bring fights, maybe.
Chaos.
Chaos. Yeah.
Good one.
Pranks.
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 Showmanship.
Ooh.
Do you have a good character arc from
Oh.
start to, or are you just the same
Yeah.
linear
you're just the
whole
same
time.
person the whole time.
Have you given us iconic moments that
Oh.
live on in infamy?
Romances.
Icon relationships, romances.
These are all entertaining. You guys have assured me my picks are great.
Like in
Yes.
my opinion, the entertainment factor is what takes it from being like a sport and turns it into a TV show, right?
Ooh,
Something we
so
can
well
actually
said.
sit and watch and relate to and feel. You know, it's where we get the emotion. It's where we get all of that. So
I love it. I
agree.
can't
This
say
may
it
be
any
the
better.
most important one. I don't know.
This is the end all be all. Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
I want to start off with the women.
Okay. Oh.
Go.
Well,
I don't
because
mind
I
going
feel
first.
like the men are going to be
The men, yeah.
I feel like only because Alex has used them already, there's going to be one guy that really stands out in this. But the women, I think there are a lot of different women that could really assume this role.
Yeah.
And I'm curious. I'm curious to see where you guys are at on this.
For my wild card pick, the range of things you listed: romances, drama, arcs, development. Anytime this person is on a season, you know something's going down. Cara Maria.
I love
That's
it.
a fire pick.
I mean, yeah, it's
We've seen her go from the tiny little first boot in Fresh Meat to the face of the challenge. She retired. She's back. She's run seasons. She's been the underdog.
Retired.
Yeah, no, I'm joking. Same as Wes's retirement.
Yeah. No, that I don't have an argument against Cara. I really don't. I think
You know it's going to be an entertaining season when she's there.
I would have put her here if I hadn't used her in adaptability. Honestly,
that's fair.
who's your woman's pick?
Oh man, I am struggling now to stick firm to mine, except for the fact that I already used Cara elsewhere, so I can't just be like, oh, I agree. I said that too. That's a great point.
That's what I'm doing.
But you got me with the baby Cara to fucking the absolute tank that she is now. That may be the biggest and best character arc
Talk about
in
MVP.
the show of anybody. Honestly, I'm trying to think of even a male that has a character arc that huge.
Yeah.
And I don't know that there is anybody who has had such development on the show. Fuck. That really messed up. Because here's my thing is I definitely took in character arc into consideration, but I don't think it weighed as heavily with me as much as like iconic moments, confessional quality, drama, showmanship, and just iconic moments overall. And I ended up landing on an OG. An absolute OG who has lived in infamy for almost as long as the show has been on. And
Most requested back.
Most requested back. It was very difficult for me to move past this person. I am taking Miss Coral as my woman for my wild
what a
card
pick.
pick.
For entertainment.
For entertainment. Not so much the full character arc, but I feel like Coral paved the way for people like Cara to be able to have such huge character arcs and to be able to grow. You know, there's a lot of things that, were happening in these older seasons that, women like Coral and Rachel and Veronica fought heavily against with the men in the house, with production, to try to get things changed and really kind of set that foundation. So I don't think that Coral has quite as big of a character arc as Cara does. But for me, she's just a little bit more iconic for me as an OG, like super old school fan. And it was just really hard for me to look in any other direction. But man, you got me with the character arc thing on Cara. So, but yeah, I have Coral.
It's a good pick.
So I think Cara is a phenomenal selection. Amazing. It's a really good pick there. I'm debating on rearranging who I have in brain games to move someone available because I think you could make a real argument for Ashley Mitchell here.
You could.
Yes. Yeah. That's
For everything we named as entertainment, if Ashley does anything great, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, that has to, think about Bananas stole the money first, but like Ashley somehow did it again, but was like, but more iconic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, it's hard to top a moment like that. And she did.
With that being said, there is nothing that is repeated more in the challenge fandom than Coral's "I don't wrestle, I beat bitches up." And that was said over 20 years ago.
It literally was so iconic at the moment that Whitney Houston then repeated it on her own fucking TV show.
So that's Coral's crazy.
My pick. So, I mean,
you can't, it's a great pick.
Okay.
It's a great
pick. I like it. Was that always your pick? Or did we just have, because we didn't talk about that
I have mine.
We actually did not talk about the females on the entertainment. So that's ironic that we had the same one. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
You guys are entertained by the same things. That's good.
I'm going to lead this off because I know I'm going to get a ditto from you. And I'm just curious to see what Alex is going to say after this. But my male choice for entertainment, I don't think you can argue against this with any single person. It is CT.
Choo-choo.
There is one character that is beloved by the female audience, which is the main demographic of the challenge, more than Chris Tamburello.
Yes.
There is not a more well-known relationship in challenge history than CT and DM. Mm-hmm. There is not a more iconic moment than Banana's backpack.
Mm-hmm. And there's not a more iconic quote than this.
I will smash his head and eat it.
Fights, relationships, gameplay,
iconic and moments, the showmanship. I want to talk on that for just a second.
Lifting up a fucking swan.
Well, yeah, but the showmanship I really want to talk about because I feel like this is so often overlooked in CT's character. So I just want to touch on it a little bit. He has amazing sportsmanship.
And humble.
He's so humble after every single elimination. If you watch, before he celebrates, before he does anything, the first thing he does is he goes over to his competitor, whether he won, whether he lost. He goes over, he shakes their hand, gives them a hug, something like that. And then he turns around and faces the crowd and does his woos and goes and says hi to his friends or goes and, back in the day would go run and give DM a hug, whatever. But he has such great sportsmanship. And I love that aspect about CT and I don't feel like it gets talked about enough. So I just wanted to throw that in. Sorry, please go ahead.
The only person that can outdo Cara Maria's character arc is CT's character arc.
Exactly.
No, I love it. I can't argue it. I'll be honest. When I was first given the assignment, I did not do a man and woman for each spot. So I was just doing one. I was just doing one person each, and
gotcha.
I struggled putting CT here or in where I landed on social. And so my list has evolved, but I felt really strong on the social one, and I felt like you guys might have him here. So I totally get that. That's hard to argue. His life, we've watched him grow up from like a angsty, young man to the dad that he is today. It's crazy. It's wild. It's emotional. It's fun. It's funny. It's everything. So my pick is going to feel very JV to your varsity pick. But my pick, I feel like, has a lot of what you guys just listed. Not as long, not as iconic, but they're all there. They're all wrapped up. This person found love on the challenge too. I'm going with Leroy.
Oh,
I'm not mad about
that. Leroy makes me laugh more per confessional than like any other challenger. And he can do it in such simple and easy terms. And I think that's the sign of like such a real funny person.
You know who
I love that, honestly.
I really like that pick, and it made me think of who I wanted to put here if he would have done more seasons earlier and longer and actually had relationships that we could talk about. It would have been Darrell. Because one of the funniest fucking people on the challenge.
Funniest,
he's hilarious.
Yes. Especially unedited Darrell.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
the way he curses.
I
think we've had multiple conversations
on
about this.
It's much better. The cursing makes it so much better.
Yeah, I just want to listen to Darrell say fuck and shit all day because it's just mwah, beautiful.
And it's just hanging out with your friends, and he's like, "Yeah, he can't do fucking shit," and you're like, "Ah!" Like, it's just so good. It's so good.
TJ's like, you're gonna hang off that bill, and I'm like, fuck that shit.
Yeah, fuck that shit. I am.
Yeah, fuck I am. What did the fans say about entertainment?
All right, so for entertainment, I'm gonna just run through all these answers really quick. Some of them will be repeats. Bananas and Tori, Bananas and Killer Cam, Ashley Millionaire Mitchell, Derek K and Jemmy. Derek K. Okay, I'll give you that. I mean,
Jemmy,
yeah,
though,
that's
I'm
a fine.
not, thank you.
I just don't get the Jemmy thing. Where's that? Anyway,
She's got
get
an iconic
Jemmy
moment
being
with ketchup.
maybe this person's just trolling us and fucking with us. I feel like
the ketchup thing is one of the weirdest things the show's ever presented to us, and it's come up more than once now. Like it's.
Did you hear that? Apparently, she took like hypnotherapy or whatever, and now she's not afraid of ketchup anymore.
Now it's cocktail sauce.
Ketchup adjacent.
Thousand Islands coming up quick.
That's crazy. I'm happy for her if she really got over her fear of ketchup. I genuinely am.
Good for her.
It'll make a hot dog a little bit better.
Yeah. Well, she can have that ketchup with that Ozempic.
Yeah.
Oh. So then we have CT and Melissa. And someone says, Bananas was made for TV. I don't care. Not only is he a great player, he's so freaking messy. Cry emoji. I was like, I mean, that's fair.
He can be funny at times too. I think when Bananas is not being entitled, he can be really funny. But sometimes he just walks in there and he's just not in the mood or something. I don't know. It's hard to describe.
He doesn't read the room like CT can read a room.
So true. True.
So I have one last guy and actually I have one other guy that was just lightly mentioned in here, Kyle, which is interesting.
That's
great.
fair.
Entertainment factor.
Yeah.
So I have one last guy and one last girl that was not brought up. And I really want to get your guys' opinion on these because one of them I was like, oh yeah, well duh, why didn't I think of that? And then the other one I was like, really? So I'm curious. So we'll start with the girls and it's Marie.
That's a good pick.
It's a good pick.
Why am I thinking that for the girls? Why are you thinking that for the girls?
She just hasn't done enough seasons.
There's not enough. Yeah. And there's not enough like quite iconicness. But honestly, like if we're just talking straight, like hilarity, great confessionals, great delivery.
Comedy. If there was a comedy section,
pranks,
Marie fits
comedy.
there.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe that's what it is.
With her ex, Devin.
You know, yes.
That's crazy to me, actually. That blows my mind.
So good.
The pizza thing with Brad and Brittany. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, so good. So good.
Have a pizza me.
Oh my God.
And then the guy that was brought up that kind of, I don't know how I feel about this one. It's Zach.
I agree with this. Entertaining every season.
But I feel like
Zach's
it could go either way, right?
Zach's life is like a soap opera at times. The whole him and Jenna stuff. My issue with Zach, and I totally understand this being a 20-something in a high-pressure situation. I just don't like when people are like, turn the cameras off, get the cameras off.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're here, you're on a TV show. If you don't want the cameras on you, you guys have to leave. Like, it's just as simple as that to me. Like, I understand life can come up, but if you guys are in that bad of a situation, maybe you should exit the premises then.
Sometimes I feel like that's an act.
I do too. No, I do too. And that's kind of why I don't like it. It's like a hold me back, bro. Hold me back. Like
that's how I feel about Amanda. It's an act, and that's why I can't accept it. You know,
I can see that. I get that. But and it was really only once or twice he's ever said or done that. But anytime someone does that, I'm always like, no, like you. Here's the other thing.
It's a TV show.
I genuinely feel like if they were like, I'm gonna step out of the villa for 30 minutes, please don't follow me, I genuinely think they would leave you alone. But when you're like, stop filming, they're gonna catch that on camera. I just don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's the thing is that they're, you know, and obviously, like, you know, I know this from just talking to people who play, you know, the game and live in the house, but there are places in the house where cameras are not allowed to go. Go in the bathroom.
Exactly. Go away.
Go in the bathroom and get naked. You know what I mean? Like, they can't do shit.
Yeah.
They can't follow you.
Yeah.
Go get in the shower and fucking go cool off.
Yes.
Go take a shower.
So
I agree. And so, and so I agree, though. Zach fits a lot of those criterias, the found love, the drama, fights, all of that. To me, I don't feel like CT has ever been like, don't follow me right now, camera. And, that's part of what...
Watch me murder this man on camera.
Did you get that on
It's part
camera?
of what I love about CT, though, is that, and I'm turning this a bit cheesy now, he is so vulnerable to the audience. He really bears it all for us. There's none of that acting. I really feel like what CT is presenting me is what is going on and what is up.
Look, for Zach, though, and I hate to bring this up, though, with him now married to Jenna with 3 kids, I believe, maybe one on the way.
They have a fourth on the way.
And one on the way, yeah.
He still has one of the most iconic moments when she called him and he's like, Brooke?
Do you know who this is?
I will never forget that in my whole fucking
It's so
life.
bad. He goes,
So
yeah?
bad.
And she goes, who? Brooke?
Brooke?
I can't.
And look,
I can't. That is entertainment. I don't know. It earns him the top spot. And you know what's crazy about this? He's not even on that season.
no, he's not on it. And if you grew up in our generation and you watched shows like fucking Laguna Beach and the OC, that's all it was.
Mhm.
And you watch that moment and you're like, that is classic millennial behavior.
It's
right there.
unbelievable. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy, bro. All right.
I'm curious. Obviously, we know that the cast and all the info for season 41 has dropped.
Ooh.
It is Vets versus New Threats, and it does air on MTV on July 30th, Wednesday, July 30th
Is that early?
at 8 p.m.
Yeah. That's on cable TV, in case you don't know that. Yes, cable fucking TV.
Cable fucking TV.
Like we're in 1995.
So you guys think they should be fully on Paramount Plus at this point?
Oh,
Or licensed to Netflix. They need to.
Something.
They need to do
they
something.
need a streaming license. They
And-
need something like that.
Look, outside of the circle and Squid Game's spinoffs. No offense to Netflix, their reality TV
They need
game is
something.
not strong, and the challenge would slide into that naturally, in
So
my
it would
It
opinion.
would slide very well naturally into that. I don't hate that at all. The one thing is Netflix can be a little slow and the challenge is like fast. But if they could get over that, I love it. I think that's beautiful. What I was really hoping with this season, we were about to see like a new version of like Fresh Meat. What do you guys think about Vets versus New Threats?
Well, okay, let me correct myself. The actual like what they're putting out is not Vets versus New Threats. That was just
Gamer
my
bag.
mind. What they're putting out is Vets and New Threats. So
Okay.
it is still a possibility that we
Okay.
do get
Okay.
a vet rookie like
I just
para,
saw they
kinda
were
like a
in
Fresh
different,
Meat.
like the vets were all in dark blue and the New Threats were all in gray.
Yeah, I don't
Can-
think it's going to be a partnered thing like that. It may still be partners, but I don't think it'll be like that. And if it is, maybe it's something like Spies Lies where they switch partners every elimination or something. I don't know.
Can I just be honest? I
Sure,
feel
and then-
like just on this subject of this new season, and it's the one thing I'm not looking forward to. I feel like the last 6 seasons outside of Battle of the Eras has all been look at all these rookies and let's not really hold on to any of the good ones, except for a few.
Yeah.
Why do we need another rookie season? I would rather have another best to never win.
Yeah.
We have enough of those people.
This season is really confusing because we have CT, Bananas, Nani, Anissa, like they have all Leroy, Derek, a lot of like heavy hitters. And then there's like, Rogan, which is not bad. Derek, which is not bad either. Theo's actually so the vet side is like kind of crazy, but then all of these, it's all brand new players. Right after 39, which was, I don't want to say all new players, but it was like, I don't know. And there's some people on this cast that I like. I like Izzy from Too Hot to Handle. I think D it could be a slide in as a real big threat in the challenge from Survivor.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm curious to see how Cedric from Big Brother is going to do. I don't think he's like any other Big Brother player we've had come over so far. So this they have 3 Big Brother people, and they're really not like any of the other Big Brother people we've seen.
No, that is accurate.
I think it's gonna be interesting. I'm open to the season. I haven't been like as impressed these last few seasons. 40 kind of let me down a little bit, especially with the whole like karma point thing. So,
yeah.
But so I'm hoping we get away from stupid shit like that and we just do like a straight up who's the best type season. None of this karma point shit. None of this stars to your friends shit. But what I really wanted to talk about is as soon as the cast dropped, Corey Wharton put out a tweet. And he says, I heard the rookies on season 41 are snooze, all the snooze emojis. And he says, if you come on the challenge, you better bring that ish, TYB vibes or Lavender Ladies energy. We want entertainment, people. I'm sorry to say, though, nobody entertains better than the OGs. Okay. Now, this kind of goes with what we were authentically kind of talking about. Now, a bunch of the rookies, of course, are tweeting back at Corey, talking mad shit. There's this girl, Sydney Siegel. I guess maybe she's she's from Survivor. Okay.
Yeah.
She tweeted back at Corey today, just a little bit ago. And she says, I mean, the lack of viewership shows the vets clearly don't entertain. I don't know who Corey even is, but he clearly didn't do his research on me. Otherwise, he's right, ASF. I don't know what ASF means. He says she says mid at best, at Corey Wharton. If you want to tune into my show, it airs July 30th on MTV. And then in parentheses, she says, not Paramount. And yeah, she kind of got Corey a little bit. But here's my thing. That my first thought was, does this girl not know that viewership on like a platform like Paramount Plus is actually better than being on MTV? And the MTV's numbers have been tanking for years now? Like what? So she had a great insult and then she fucked it with this false, stupid claim that like ruined the whole thing. Yeah. But like she got his ass in the beginning. She got him in the beginning. Like, oh, girl,
Sydney is someone that is going to be interesting because she is someone that I could see being very loud and very wrong often.
That's kind of the vibe I got from the tweet. And
that tweet sums it up there. She does not have like a storied Survivor career, went at the midpoint, was like, you know, kind of, she is very loud on social media. And so I think somewhere like the challenge could suit her well. It was an interesting pick, but the more I've thought about it, she and seeing that tweet, I don't think she's afraid of anyone, you know, Johnny Bananas or otherwise. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's good. I think it's important to, you know, if we're bringing in rookies, I think it's important that they can't come in and fangirl the vets, right? No. Because it doesn't work. It's not entertaining. It's not fun. Works. Corey's right. We do need TYB vibes coming in on your rookie season and being like, I'm coming for you, Bananas. I'm coming for you, CT. I'm coming for you, Jordan. You know, so I see like both sides of these. And I'm hoping that these rookies bring some fire this season, because that's really what I want to see, especially with such, like you said, such tanks on the vet side. We need these rookies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She can say whatever she wants, but until the fucking season airs and she does something that makes air, it's all for naught. Corey's got some iconic like this the fucking whole moments.
Season and not do a thing is the possibility. We don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah. We don't know.
And I'm gonna be honest, Corey saying that is bringing attention to your season. So you should say thank you, because that man has a bigger following than I am. I can guarantee that she does.
I'll be honest though, Corey's not on the season. Why don't you say that as the season's going on? Don't tell us that beforehand. Let us make our own opinions.
I was going to say, I don't think he was actually trying to help the season, considering he was told that the rookies were boring.
I think it was, hey, put me back out there, MTV, to get rid of these losers.
Exactly.
And that could be very self-serving. It could be.
Yeah.
But I mean, what is it? All publicity is good publicity. So really, like you said, him just talking about it and bringing it up is going to make people be like, okay, well, are they boring or is Corey wrong? And then they watch.
Look, I'm just going to say, like, if you talk about the last 4 seasons, even though they haven't been universally liked by the fans, they've been all more anticipated than 41 is.
That's very true.
Yeah.
That being said, we are going to do like a full cast breakdown, predictions for the season, prediction for format, all that fun stuff. We'll be doing that in a couple weeks, probably like the week before it airs. So for all our listeners out there, I know you guys have been sending in messages on Instagram asking if we were going to do one of those this season. And yes, we are. We're just not going to do it as early. We're going to enjoy this last little bit of the break because we thought that we wouldn't be getting the season till a little bit more into August. So now we're like moving our schedule up a little bit more. So anyway, but let's get back into this episode. We have to still build the final CFP Ultimate Challenger. I think this will be the quickest part of the episode. So I'm actually very excited to get into this and see what our Ultimate Challenger looks like at the end.
I think, like the brain games, we should address this like a puzzle since we're not repeating. We had 2 categories we completely agreed on, the 3 of us. It was weirdly our first and our last ones we spoke about. It was Casey for speed and agility, and it was Kylan for math. Yes, so I think we can lock those in. I feel good about those.
I have Kylan for math, Casey for agility and speed. I agree. Let's lock those in.
Yeah.
My question is since we're here now at Brain Games and the way you introed that, which I appreciate, that was very well played. Let's start off with math and let's finish off the subject. Who are we putting in there for the woman?
I'll be honest, it was not that long ago, but we did come up with a good... Oh, it was Nerys.
Nerys. I'm not mad about
for
that.
Which one are we looking at?
Math.
I'm sorry.
In Brain Games math. For women?
Okay, so for Brain Games, we had... so we're doing math first?
Yeah, because we have Kylan.
So we all had Kylan.
Yeah, and I'm already writing it out.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that. That's why I'm behind.
I got you. I got you.
Anyway, so so then the two girls that we had named was Nerys and Cam. So
I feel like I want to save Cam for later, but
something different.
I feel good with Nerys.
I feel good with Nerys too.
On math, I'd be good with Nerys. Okay. We could take Nerys on math. I'm good with that.
Just because we can't repeat. I feel like that's the smartest move.
And honestly, she fits great there. So it's not, you know what I mean? And that's definitely not one that I was like absolute set on Cam. It was just like a really good option for me because
Right above it, I think we were pretty close to agreeing Ashley for puzzles.
I agree on Ashley for puzzles.
I had Ashley for puzzles.
Yeah, you both did. Cool. I had Michelle. So, but I'm 2 out of 3 makes sense. Let's go that. This is good. We had 3 people. Honestly, democracy.
I know it kind of worked that like nobody else, unless like 2 other people from the team had shown up tonight. But it's nice that there's like an odd number so we can.
Okay, I'm gonna make an argument, even though you guys both had him somewhere else. I think Devin is the smartest one to go into puzzles. I think as far as men. There is not anyone better. When we get to social and gameplay,
there could be other people.
Strategy, I think Bananas West are both better options in either category.
I think part of our problem was, Karina, I didn't have a man puzzler. Did you?
I did not have a man puzzler. I threw Ryan in there.
To what Rick is saying then.
I mean, yeah, but also like if I'm going to move Devin anywhere, why the fuck would you not put him in memory? Who outdoes Devin in memory?
What did we have? Man memory. I had Devin for man memory.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, who are we replacing Devin with for puzzles?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know because we don't want to use CT there.
No, we can't use CT there.
Who was the other option for man memory? What's yours, Rick?
I had a throwaway with Wes.
Yeah.
Oh no. We need to think of another man for one of these 2 here. Okay.
So we're looking at puzzles, right?
Puzzles and memory. I feel
like there was actually like a decent.
Let's see who the fans.
Let's see what the fans.
I said Derek is a throwaway, but
yeah.
Maybe we're gonna pull from the fans on this one.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
No.
CT. What about for memory though? Who do they have in memory?
For memory,
because that might translate.
Yeah, because that'll help.
Well, I know for memory, it's literally it's Sarah, Devin, Sarah, Devin and Michelle, Wes and Sarah, Derek and Tori, CT, Veronica, Devin, Nerys, Jordan, Devin.
Okay, I hate to do this. Let's put a pin in it. Devin's going to be one of those 2. Let's
One
keep
of
thinking.
he's going to be puzzled
Okay.
or yeah.
So we've got Ashley M for puzzle. For memory, are we all in agreement on Sarah Rice?
Love it. Let's lock it
think
in.
we all went. Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
all had that just
I had
naturally.
Ashley there, but it was a bit. It was it was Hunter. I remember exactly what Hunter said.
Yeah, I remember now. Yeah,
All right, so we've got brain. We'll come back to brain games.
for the boys.
Almost
yeah,
done.
we'll come
Almost
back.
done there.
boys.
That's good.
Yeah, we
Okay.
just need two more. We just need to figure that last two.
Yeah.
For agility and speed in the men, we had Fessel, Corey, and I said Theo.
Right.
Ooh.
So where are we going on this one?
Well, I think this was also the one, right, where we all agreed on Casey. So we
Yes.
know the girls are taken care of for agility because we all agreed on Casey for
I
agility.
honestly actually feel
Yeah.
good with
Beat
any of
agility.
our picks.
I
yeah,
would
so
too.
it's Corey. What did we say? Corey, Fessel,
I don't have
or
Corey anywhere else, and I don't think I
Same.
have Fessy anywhere else. So I'm good
And
with.
I don't have Theo anywhere else.
Yeah.
And that's the
That's
thing.
what it is.
Like this is a specialty.
what did the
where
fans
we're-
say? Let's poll what if the
Let
fans
me
had
see,
one
let
more
me
than
see
the
what
other.
the fans said about speed.
They said it's bad for
agility.
your health.
All right, so we've got Corey Nerese, Jordan Nerese, Josh,
No.
Jordan, Corey, Derek K,
I think it's
Theo,
Corey then.
Jordan,
Oh, Theo?
Emmanuel, Corey,
Corey.
Adam.
I think
So
it's Corey.
I mean,
I
there's
Corey's multiple
I
times.
heard
numerous
Corey.
Corys in here.
I
Let's
think
do Corey.
Corey Wharton's the answer. That's the compromise we're coming to.
I like
Okay.
it. Corey's a good
'Cause
pick
I mean,
there.
it's not like you're losing with that.
No, I mean, I think what you lose in speed to Theo, you make up in agility, in my
Right.
personal opinion.
We're splitting hairs between these three gentlemen. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, endurance, I think this is where we're going to have an argument at.
this one's gonna be tough.
You want to save Jordan for adaptability. Who's your endurance man?
Horacio.
I'd put Horacio there.
I don't hate it. I would be willing to put Horacio in endurance.
All right, let's
I'd
do it.
willing
Let's
to
be
put
bold.
Horacio in endurance. All right,
Okay.
yeah, let's do Horacio in endurance.
I had Laurel for my woman, but I actually think you two had one you might have agreed upon for your woman.
I said
endurance.
Jenny West.
He had Jenny, I had Bamber, and you had Laurel.
I don't agree on Bamber at all. I would rather go Jenny West, but I would be willing to make a compromise to move Jenny West to strength if we
Yeah.
moved Emily Schramm to endurance.
I like Jenny in strength. I feel good about.
I do
Jenny
like
in strength.
Jenny in
So-
strength.
and I'm not going to argue that. I just think we have to come up with a really solid endurance.
I don't hate Emily as endurance. I didn't have it. She's a beast.
Yeah, I don't hate her as endurance. The only thing that I remember is like, her last flagship season, Rivals 2. It was what she was most worried about for herself was her endurance.
and you know what? But
Now,
I don't think
ended up
she
handling
needed to be worried about it. She was like
Right.
crushing it. I
it's
like
just
it.
that lack of confidence. But I'm still willing to put her there because we're taking the ability, not the confidence that goes with the
Yeah.
ability. So I'd be
Just
cool
out
to
of
put
curiosity,
Emily there.
what did the fans say for endurance for women?
Let's see.
But I like Jenny in strength. That feels good to me.
Yeah, I
It
like
does.
Jenny in strength. I think we lock that in.
For endurance, we got for women, right? So we got Bamber, Tori, Bamber.
Tori's a good one.
Voldemort, Rachel, Tori, Bamber, Tori, Evelyn,
Tories.
maybe Emily, and then Rachel.
Evelyn's a
So
good one,
lots of
too.
Tories, lots of Bambers, and then
I feel like we're going to
Rachel.
play Tori somewhere above us.
oh, she'll be in the gameplay.
She'll be in the
Yeah.
gameplay. Let's
so
go
I don't
Emily. I think Emily's actually a really
All right.
good one.
I'm fine with Emily S there.
And I mean, if you really think about it, if you were building the ultimate challenger and you're like endurance, I get Horacio and Emily, you'd be like, that's a
You'd
fucking
be like,
5
hell
out
yes,
of 5.
please.
That's a win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one's like, oh, I like Horacio, but Emily. Yeah, no, I agree.
But Emily,
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know about her.
Strength wise is another one neither of us came to an agreement on. I had Derek K, you had Mark Long, and I think you had
Brad.
Brad. Yeah.
I like the Mark
think-
pick.
I like Mark. I think pound for pound, Derek's stronger, but I understand
I
the
don't
concept
know.
of a bigger guy
I
being
think it's
stronger.
I just gotta
I'm
go with
also-
the bigger guy.
Also, I'm not opposed to Fessel here,
Oh,
Okay.
especially once you factor in Hallbrows.
yeah. Since he's not speed anymore, I had him in speed, so I'd put Fessel here. I feel fine with that.
I'd feel okay with putting Fessel in strength.
Do
I
you
don't think that
we're going to get ripped for putting Fessel over Mark Long in strength? Because I do.
100% taking the Godfather off of our Ultimate Challenger.
I almost feel like we have to
100%.
put Mark Long here.
I
think
really
it's
like
just-
the Mark Long pick. I think
I
either
do
are
too. I
fine.
love
I
Mark
do
Long,
too.
honestly.
I'm
gonna
trying
go
to think
Mark
of
Long.
who's eating who in their prime, because obviously Fessel is going to do some damage to Mark Long in this state, but that's not his fault.
Like, and I'm not thinking strictly Hall Brawl. I'm also thinking who could pick up 150 pounds
Let's go
and
Mark
walk the
Long.
furthest with it.
Mark
and I think
Long's
Mark Long.
picking it up.
And once
today.
again, if you were drafting and you got Mark Long and Jenny West in strength, you'd be like, that's a W.
Yeah.
Love it.
I can't really do better.
Yes.
So I like
mean,
that.
Yeah, it's a win. It's a
Okay.
win. But I do also just want to shout out once again that yes, the fans did numerous times list Fessel, and then Derek K was also listed in here.
I love the Derek K pick, even though that's not
Yeah.
what we're going with.
Yeah, and it's honestly like, and I hate to say it this way, all the love for the short kings out there, but
It's
it's
part of
hype
it.
that kind of
Yeah.
takes
If
it a
we
little bit
were-
away from me for giving him that strength.
If we were going pound for pound, it would be Derek K.
Right. But if it's carrying things, lifting things and carrying them long
Exactly.
distance, that's a little different.
If we weren't using him, I think the easy pick here is CT.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like we have to use him somewhere else.
Yeah,
He's just
I feel
more
good with
valuable somewhere
I mean,
else.
we know where he's going to land, and I feel good with that pick.
Yeah, Mark Long's, I think, the right
This
pick.
is fun. I like Mark
and
Long.
then
That's
we were
good.
Yeah.
we
This is good. We're I feel like we're coming to some good agreements and compromises.
so Mark and Jenny for strength, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
that's
I like
fucking-
that.
Yeah,
I think that's fire.
yeah.
Okay, now we're in adaptability.
So these are the ones we're going to have to puzzle a bit here like we did with the brain games, but I think we all have similar-ish things for these three.
Yeah.
I agree. I think with adaptability, I honestly think Jordan, I'm open to other arguments in the men.
We skipped him for endurance, I think, for this reason, honestly.
Yeah.
Right. And I am convinced
Okay.
that I mean you got like there's such a great argument for Bananas, for Wes, for Devin, for Jordan, or for any
It's
literally
part of their
any of the
strengths, how they get multiple successes this way.
Yeah, but when you really look at adaptability and the fact that he has one fucking hand, he has to adapt more than anybody on that
One
show.
tug of war. with
Yeah.
one hand.
So I mean, it's almost like you can't deny.
I'm into
the
it. No,
Jordan
you made a good. That's why we saved him off of endurance for this.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now with women, I had Kara and so did Karina, but I think you made a very valid argument for her
So I had
that we're going to have to
Tori
debate
here.
between Coral.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough debate.
Who did you have here?
I had Tori here. If we wanted
He
to
had
slot
Tori
her
and
in for
adaptability.
adaptability. Where did you guys want to put Tori otherwise?
Yeah, which is it's a great.
I mean, my only argument would be, I mean, you can make an argument for social, but I feel like strategy for Tori in these last 6 seasons is
Just been top notch.
I think you guys
Nobody-
both had her for woman strategy, so we can put her there. Adaptability. What about John A?
I think that's solid. What did the
That's solid.
fans say before
let's
we
see
made
what
the
the fans
final
say.
decision?
Let
Yeah.
me see. Adaptability for women, right? That's what we're talking about. Jenny Casey, Cara, Laurel, Tori, Laurel, Cara, Paula, Rachel, Evelyn, Rachel, Ashley, Tori. That's it.
God,
Mixed
that's
bag.
a lot of Tories.
Yeah, there
It
was a
is a
lot of
lot of
Kara there too. There was
Yeah.
It's
Kara.
a lot of Cara and a lot of Tori. So,
you
that
know what?
doesn't help our
Since
debate.
we have to kind of talk about it since we're here. Do you guys think you want to do Kara for most entertaining then?
I'm willing to have the debate with Coral.
Yeah, I'd definitely be willing to debate it with Coral. I just don't.
We might
like,
need to do
even-
it because otherwise then Kara will be here in adaptability, or we could hold off.
No,
off.
let's take care of the women in entertainment because that's going to result in who we're going to pick
and
for
who we're going to pick for
adaptability.
adaptability. So yeah, so let's do the women entertainment.
Here's my pitch because I think we're definitely doing CT for the man.
Yes,
just feel
we're
like
definitely doing CT.
I feel like CT and Kara just go hand in hand. Especially the way we pitched it and we hyped it up. Like,
Yeah,
I think they both represent everything we want out of the challenge.
My argument is prime, you take everything Cara has done and how entertaining she is. We take the resume, but you put her on a season with her and Coral. Who are you going to be more entertained by?
That's
I
interesting.
think you can take a 1-to-1. Like, Kara's not the best confessionalist. That's not why she's on this list. Kara's here for the story, the ups and downs. Kara feels every moment she's there. Like, the reason I'm letting go of Leroy over CT is Leroy's more my comedy pick. And I feel like Coral could be a bit more of that. It is where Kara is riding the highs and the lows. Sometimes we hate Kara. Sometimes we love Kara. It's like a soap opera.
You know what? I'm willing to give Kara on this because I see how the 3 up top are going to go now. If we give Kara this, and I'm not mad
we
about
can
it.
Slot then.
Yeah.
The more look, and I'm literally saying this as like the biggest Coral defender when it comes to overall entertainment value. I've just always thought that Coral is just
Perfect.
like what people should aim for. Should aim to be on the show or on any reality show. But I mean, you're making so many great points with Cara, and like you said, it's the long game, right? Like we got
CT is the long game.
Yeah, and Coral, we just have this middle piece. We don't have really the earlier versions of her, and we don't have any later versions of her. We just have no, not at all. But we just hopefully she actually comes back for an All-Star. She's been putting those videos out. She's been talking to Mark, so hopefully she comes freaking back. Oh my God.
I actually just heard All-Star 6 is on.
Yeah, I did hear that they are working on it. So I would definitely be willing to
do Cara there. So that
I'd be willing to do Cara because you're convincing me.
I think we have our entertainment picks, CT and Cara.
Yeah,
I agree. And here's my pitch on this top 3. I'm going to run the top 3 women right here because of the way we put Cara. I think we go Tori Adaptability, Veronica Social, Cam Strategy.
I love that.
And then you look at that women ultimate challenger. I don't think you beat it with Jenny W at strength, Emily Schramm at endurance, Casey at agility and speed, Sarah Rice at memory, Ashley Mitchell at puzzle, Nerisse at math, and Cara Maria's entertainment value.
That is, I agree. I think
like
that's a fire lineup right there.
I like that. So now we just have to figure out
the men
strategy and social for the men.
I do think it actually maybe is, we could move Wes down to memory and puzzle.
We could do or Devin.
And then I think we maybe do, I think Devin's going to be down there regardless. We need to, I think we have bananas. Oh no. Yeah. Cause then okay. So we have 2 spots here. We did, our male adaptability
is Jordan.
Yeah,
right.
Yes. Sorry. Okay. So
we
got Jordan.
So we need to do puzzle men, memory men, strategy men, and social men.
Yes.
And we have Wes, Devin, and bananas as 3 of those for sure. My issue is I had CT in here as social. Who did you guys have?
I had Wes as social
and I had Leroy.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean Leroy is always a good option
Leroy in
for
at the social.
too.
Honestly, I think we just completed it.
And then,
Leroy's not a bad option.
And he's playing with Cam in the strategy of the Ultimate Challenger.
Yeah.
It works for that argument. Let's go.
I love that. Okay, yeah, we'll do Leroy in social,
and then I think we put
strategy.
Bananas strategy.
Bananas.
Yeah. Banana strategy.
All right, banana sandwich there. Okay.
And now we just need puzzle and memory between Wes and Devin.
So,
I'm willing to go memory, Devin, puzzle, Wes at that point. I think it's interchangeable in the puzzle skills.
Yes.
Maybe a slight edge to Devin, but I think Devin has a bigger edge on memory than Wes.
I agree.
So I'm good with that.
All right. I am good with that.
Yes, wow. I feel really good about this.
Yeah.
Ooh, we actually
that was like a fun puzzle. That was good.
It kind of was, yeah.
I like that. We should do it again next week.
Yeah. After everyone gives us these new categories that we're going to have to...
That we forgot about. They're like, you fucking idiots. You guys forgot about a whole segment
this
of the
is
game.
good. Wait, let's run down it then. Someone read it off one last time.
Okay, so for the men, do you want me to start brain games and work up? The way we did it, start up that way. Okay, so brain games, starting off math, Kyland. Puzzle, Wes. memory, Devin. Physical for agility and speed, Corey Wharton. Endurance, Horacio. Strength, Mark Long. Adaptability, Jordan. Social game, Leroy. Strategy, Bananas.
Oh,
Damn.
yeah,
That's
that's great.
Yeah, I'm not mad about that.
No.
And then entertainment, CT.
Yeah.
Like that's a win.
That's an
That's
ultimate
great.
player. Like, to me, that is the ultimate
We
challenge.
did
That
it.
is-
Yeah, we really boiled this down to what we needed to do here.
Yeah, agreed. And on the women's side, it's just as good. Math, Nerese. Puzzle, Ashley Mitchell. Memory, Sarah Rice. Agility, speed, Casey. Endurance, Emily Schramm. Strength, Jenny West. Adaptability, Tori. Social, Veronica. Strategy, Cam. Cara Maria, Entertainment.
Dude. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fire.
That's,
we nailed
it's
it.
fire. It's fire.
If you don't like it, tell your mama, because this is a fire list.
It is. Yeah. Like, how do you? I don't know, man.
I
I mean, I
we
know people
didn't-
are gonna.
Leave off Joss though. How could we? That was our mistake. We needed
Yeah, that
him
was our
somewhere.
He
bad.
was
here.
actually named quite a bit, but it also makes me wonder. Like, should I go back in and see? Because he was named on like a
It was
ton of.
all
see if it's the
Joss
same
burner
person. Yeah, it's
accounts.
Joss.
I want to see if it's the same account that listed Joss on all of them.
They're just like Joss.
Burner.
Their account is Joss's biggest fan.
Right?
Yeah, bio. This is not Joss, just
Not
his
Joss.
fan.
Woo.
Out only.
That's funny.
Oh my
Um,
gosh! No,
look,
this was fun. I
this was
actually
good.
really enjoyed this.
I was just thinking this because of the argument with Coral, and even though we've said Joss multiple times, I think you could actually make an argument for Josh in entertainment on a one-off season.
I don't know if you could. Yeah, I don't know about entertainment because I feel like for entertainment, the fans have to like you,
Josh,
No,
to
they don't.
me-
or at least back and forth. They have
No, they
to.
don't.
There's got to be a love hate. Josh needs a redemption arc to really fall in
He
this.
needs something. He needs a redemption arc with the fans because there's been times CT's hated by the fans, Cara's hated by the fans. It's times that they're fucking loved and adored by the fans. You know what I mean? So
Josh
Josh does
is
not
mixed.
have that. He just has the hate, and that's it. It's kind of like Fessy, right? Like I think Fessy is a decent entertainer on the show, but he just has the hatred from the fans.
Yeah.
I'm just
He
saying,
doesn't have the love.
where would the challenge be since War of the Worlds won
Oh, it would be
without
trash.
Josh?
It would be trash for sure. For sure.
8 times 9. You can borrow my sweatsuit if you want to. Like, that
What's
doesn't
8
happen
times
because
9? Big brother
Devin's
sucks.
redemption doesn't happen without Josh.
That's true. I'll give you that.
I'm just putting that out there. Okay, one final thing just for fun. If we did have the politicking, who would you put there?
Oh God. I mean, are we allowed to name someone we've already put on the
Yeah,
list?
I'll let a double go on this.
The best politickers in the house. Who are they?
I mean, I know the guy for sure.
Yeah, if guys
Oh, is it
easy.
Corey?
I mean, actually, I think there could be a couple options.
Yeah.
My initial reaction was actually Kyle.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
Because
a
he
good
ran
one.
through like 3 girls on the same season. Like literally
But
back
so
to
did
back
Corey.
nights.
But so did Corey in Invasion of the
Corey.
Champs.
True. He had Kayla and Anissa the same
And-
season.
And then
Cara.
Anissa the next season with Camilla.
Or Camilla. That's what I meant. Yeah, and
Camilla, yeah.
Voldemort, whatever. But
So yeah, I think
CT
Kyle.
could do it.
Yeah, but not really because
He hasn't done that in a
did hook-
while.
and even when he did, there was only a few girls.
It was
You know
like
what I mean?
Laurel.
And really, a lot of it was
Laurel.
to fuck with D. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like the whole Siobhan thing.
What about Nicole?
Cook was to fuck with D. You know, Nicole is definitely the biggest fuck boy
Of all time on
of
the
all
challenge.
time. I think Ashley Mitchell
Oh,
definitely fits into.
Ashley's a good one.
Yeah.
She literally bragged about her
You know what?
politicking abilities. So
I would go Kyle on this. We won't even have to reuse because Kyle has when the top woman in politicking and the top man politic together
Yeah.
with Kyle and Ashley Mitchell while he's also politicking with Cara Maria.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think it's those
Yeah,
two.
Kyle's it. And I think you have to
Oh.
repeat Ashley Mitchell.
Yeah, I
on
think
that.
so.
you almost have to. Yeah.
Tori, maybe.
Maybe
She's
a little
been
bit.
there,
Yeah.
but that's not like her main strategy.
And it's usually only one per season. So it doesn't really kind of match up with like
Emmanuel.
Smash, Emmanuel.
Oh God.
Yeah.
But he's only got 2 seasons. So
Best
Yeah,
winner we've
Michelle
ever
and
had.
Tori, same season.
yeah. Amanda.
Nelson.
Nelson.
But Nelson's always blow up in his face.
Nelson's
so
so
funny.
Yeah, they have to be
Berna and
successful.
Ashley?
They got to be successful.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm actually curious. I want to see if anybody. So we ended up just throwing this on Instagram stories like just now. Because somebody had asked.
Yeah, politicking, just to see.
Yeah, because somebody had submitted like to one of our answers, and they were like, "I love this. Now do who politics best." And so I want to see. There's only a couple answers.
Anissa.
Johnny
Does she do it
Bananas.
best. Bananas is one I thought of too.
But he doesn't really hook up that much. He just flirts.
He's a big flirt. I don't know.
He's a very that one. I don't necessarily
feel good about the ones we picked, honestly.
Yeah. This one's interesting. Naya and Kyland. I'm like, I don't agree with it. I think
they're at the start of their journey.
They
could be. Yeah,
they could become politickers, pro politickers.
Yes,
but I think right now they're learning.
Yeah.
They just are now. Anyway, so
I think honestly,
I love our ultimate challengers.
I really enjoyed this list.
I think it was cool.
I think we did build the ultimate challenger, and I think we can make an argument against any team, anyone.
If you guys think that we picked the wrong person in the wrong category or there was somebody better for it, please make sure you comment down below, whether you are listening on Spotify, YouTube, whatever. If you're listening to clips on Instagram, whatever, comment down below. Let us know if you think we picked the wrong one. And that way we can comment back to you and tell you why you are actually wrong.
In fact, go to our IG and check out the artwork for this and tell us who you're going to pick. We'll have it up when the episode drops.
That's right.
With that being said, there's nothing else to talk about. We've boiled it down.
Covered it all.
It's a 10 out of 10, people, no matter how you slice it. We're big ultimate challenger guys over here, and we just put together a great list. So, for myself, Ricky Hayes, my beautiful wife, Karina Hayes, and our very special guest, Alex Brizard, we want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you haven't yet, you're 3 hours in. Hit fucking subscribe. And while you're doing it, go check out Two Dudes Watch Cartoons, both on Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify. Other than that, I don't really have anything else to say. You guys got any closing thoughts?
No, this was a lot of fun, though.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. So
great time.
Thank you.
Great time.
Yeah.
Good collaborative effort on our part.
Yeah. Team project right here.
Compromise, teamwork. Yeah. It was good. It was good.
You know what? If they
light arguing. I'm going to slightly push back on that. That was like,
look, and this is why. It's no offense to you, but strictly just from an objective point of view.
That's so funny. Yeah. No, real good time. Thank you again for having me. Always a good time. And I'm sure I'll see you guys in the middle of season 41.
Heck yes. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully it's like a 15 episode season instead of like 30.
It'll never be.
It never will. Yep.
It's going to be 45 next season.
Jesus Christ.
41 episodes for the 41st season. It's like, motherfucker, that's a whole year almost.
God damn it. Yeah. Like you don't even have that many contestants.
Right. What are we, eliminating someone every 2 episodes? Fuck.
One person read the fucking final. DJ's just sitting there giving instructions to fucking bananas.
At that point, it's just a test to see if you can finish it.
Oh, fuck.
That's funny as hell. Oh my God. Oh, God.
Well, with that, we're leaving on a high note. Thank you guys for tuning in. Love y'all. Be good to each other. And you know what? Happy 4th of July. That's coming around the corner. We're not going to see you guys till then. But there you go. Love y'all. Woo. Bye.
Bye.
Ultimate fucking challenger.
Let's go.